one from Amon Carter Stadium, Fort Worth, Texas. A rainy day, a cool day. Chance of rain, you can see 100%. We've already seen monsoons hit the stadium. We expect rain all day. And Lee Groscup, that could pose a major problem for the University of Texas and their quarterback Todd Dodge, who says he can't stand to play in nasty weather.
Todd Dodge told me yesterday when I had a chance to visit with him that he does not like the wind and the rain. It affects his throwing style. He has had problems with it in the past, and he was hoping for a clear day. Suddenly, weather has become a factor. We were told there would be a 50% chance of rain. The rains came very hard and very suddenly just 5 or 10 minutes ago. That man we talked about earlier will probably be the key today because he's coming off the worst performance of his career, a 5-interception game last week against Houston.
Todd said he had to recover from that. He says he doesn't see himself ever having another game quite like he did last week. 5 interceptions against Houston. He certainly hopes he doesn't repeat that today. Texas will kick off. The Texas Christian University back to receive. Number 33 is Roscoe Tatum on your left. Number 5 is Scott Ankrum. At the moment, the rain has subsided. Kickoff just moments away. 47,200 fans on hand here at Amon Carter Stadium. That is the biggest crowd they've ever had here in Fort Worth for a TCU football game.
And the last time they had a bona fide sellout goes back to the 50s when John David Crow came to town with the Texas A&M game. We were visiting with Dan Jenkins before the game. He said that was in 1955.
TCU has not defeated the University of Texas here in Fort Worth since '58. They haven't beaten Texas in 16 seasons. So it's a big opportunity for Texas Christian University. Fred Akers on the sideline. 7 years at the University of Texas, took over for Darrell Royal back in 1977. Got a heck of a year, and there is Jim Wacker. They've got Wacker backers all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Quite a football coach. We'll be hearing from him this afternoon. Enthusiasm, excitement. He's got all TCU and the Fort Worth community behind him. Here we go, the kickoff. That is Jeff Ward on the kickoff. Back at about the 14-yard line, it's Egypt Allen. He dives across at about the 22-yard line. Anthony Gully will be your quarterback, a senior out of Dallas, Texas. Kenneth Davis, tailback. He's the big man for TCU. Tony Jeffrey, outstanding freshman, over 700 yards running. This is Mr. Speed, James Manus, outstanding flanker. Dan Sharp, dependable clutch receiver. And TCU has quite an offensive machine, averaging 35.3 points per game, ranking them number 3 in the nation. The handoff, first man through, that is Tony Jeffrey, the freshman, diving for 3 or 4. The offensive line for the Horned Frogs, Gary Ford, big tight end, won't catch too many passes. James Benson at right tackle out of Iowa. Tommy Sheehan, we're keeping our eye on him today. Mike Flynn, 6th-year man out of Dallas, Texas. Joe Young at left guard. And Steve Page, a senior out of Lake Jackson, Texas. 2nd and 7 this time. Jeffrey. Another couple yards. Now look at the Texas defense. And that sets up a 3rd and 5 situation. James McKinney, Tony DeGrape, the man to watch on the defensive line for Texas. He's an awful good one. Bill Heathcock and Thomas Aldridge. The linebackers, you got Allert, Hager, and June James. James, one of the best linebackers in the Southwest Conference. Lott, Tillman, Braggs, and the All-American. Number 2, Jerry Gray. 3rd, they're calling it 4 to go for TCU, the 25-yard line. Gully keeping it. Will he toss it back? No, and he has stopped short of the first down.
Texas doing a good job of stringing out the option play with their 4-3 defense, and that's going to be one of the keys today for the Longhorns because TCU is a true split-back veer option team, and 80% of their plays are that type of a play, the option. The triple option of the split-back veer.
So Texas's defense comes through in the first possession for TCU. Here's the punt. Back to receive, backpedaling. That is Rob Morshall, near side, across the 30, where he's knocked hard at the near side. Texas is take over at the 30-yard line. There is Todd Dodge, the quarterback. That was a 51-yard punt. Terry Orr will start at halfback. Senior Kevin Nelson, outstanding freshman tailback, a big surprise. Bill Boy Bryant, one of the great names in college football. Brett Duhan, a one wide receiver. He's a senior. As you can see, penalty against the University of Texas. And the fans here at Fort Worth like to see that. Today's officials: Frank Shepard, John Gaston, Bob Jones, Walt Coleman, Mike Wetzel, and Randy McAnally, the back judge. Horned Frogs trying to go 9-1 overall today. And coming off a record last year of 1 win, 8 losses, and a tie. Nobody would have guessed this.
On the run back, Clinton on the offense, first down.
So that sets Texas way back now at about the 13-yard line. The Arkansas victory today, 28-zip over Texas A&M. Arkansas's record now in the conference, 5 wins and 2 losses. They still have an outside shot to win the conference title. To give there to Ronnie Robinson. He's stacked up at the 15-yard line. Texas offensive line, William Harris, big guy. John Stewart at right tackle out of Clear Lake, Texas. You got Brian Chester as well, the right guard. Gene Chilton, a junior from Spring Branch, Texas. Bruce Blackmer is a left guard. He's a junior. And Greg Wright, one of only 2 offensive starters back from the '83 team. 2nd and 8, Todd Dodge is your quarterback. And is Harris in motion. Dodge will throw. Throwing to his right. He's going to keep it out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Todd Dodge about 4 yards short of the first down. Byron Linwood and Sean Thomas force him out. Texas Christian defensive line. Kevin Dean, they call him Psycho. He's a defensive end. Bill Tomedy is a good one. Kent Trammell, the guy to watch the nose guard. He's a tough one. L.B. Washington and David Stradlin complete the defensive line. Linebackers Gerald Taylor and Andy Pitts. Sean Thomas, a potential first-round pick, the defensive secondary star. Garland Littles, Byron Linwood, and Billy Jones, the secondary for TCU. 3rd and 2. Dodge will hand it off. Second man through. That is Kevin Nelson pulling his way up the middle. Very close to the first down.
We were isolated on the linebackers in the 50 defense here. And that something that Gerald Taylor, number 37, is the first man in on the hit for the Frogs. Their linebackers have been the key to their defense in their 50 look. They are the leading tacklers on the team, along with the strong safety man, Brian Linwood, who actually acts like another linebacker at his strong safety position.
Punting away now for Texas, John Telchik, an excellent punter. Back to receive for Texas Christian is Wayne Waddy, and he is hit immediately at about the 27-yard line. Tex Mercer makes the play. TCU on offense. When we come back early in the first, there is no score from Fort Worth.
If you've got what it takes and really care, there's a special kind of life you'll want to share. Serving your country's a special call. It's good for you, it's good for all. Not all who try fit the bill. It calls for brains, it calls for skill in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. High-tech and the services go hand in hand. It's a whole new world. You're in demand in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll move up, you'll feel proud. You'll stand out above the crowd in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. But most of all, you'll earn the respect of the people and country you're there to protect. In the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, it's a great place to start.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
This flight doesn't get scrubbed for bad weather. A high-performance fighter has the technology to handle it. So does this, the all-weather Delco Freedom Battery, with the power to start you in the cold and the technology to beat the heat. And you never add a drop of water. Never wait for trouble. Get the all-weather Delco Freedom Battery.
From $39.95 for a Series 40, call 800 AC Delco.
On Monday Night Football, hunting for another championship season, the division-leading Pittsburgh Steelers collide with a hungry Saints squad. Live at 9 Eastern on ABC.
The TCU huddle, their second offensive possession. There you see some stats on Anthony Gully, a senior out of Dallas. Anthony has shared the quarterback duties this year with Anthony Scaraffa, a senior out of San Antonio. Gully a little quicker, been getting the job done on the ground and through the air. 60 of 109 for 856 yards to the air. There's a fumble, and Texas has recovered. Tony Jeffrey can't hang on, and I believe Jerry Gray, the All-American, is the man to come up with a football. And it is. Number 2, you see him, and a big break for Texas. The football on the 30-yard line of Texas Christian University. Watch it again, Lee.
We were isolated on June James as we look at Jeffrey getting the ball. There's the contact right now. When I watch number 2, Jerry Gray, the All-American safety man, come up. June James, number 62, comes up, is in perfect position, senses the ball right there, and along with Jerry Gray, goes right on in for the football.
Jerry Gray, legitimate first-round pick in the NFL draft next year. This is Kevin Nelson powering over the right side, down close to the 22-yard line of TCU.
Gil Brandt told us before the game, Corey, that he feels that Jerry Gray is as fine a football player as there is in America. He thinks that he could be one of the first 4 or 5 players chosen in the pro draft next year.
Kevin Nelson, the man that carried that football moments ago, a freshman out of Stamford, Texas, had been projected as a wide receiver. He's a number 2 rusher on this club with 333 yards. This is Nelson again. This time, he is stacked up in a hurry. Bill Tommy, sophomore out of Houston, Texas, number 98, is the man to make the hit.
Edwin Simmons was projected as the starter today. He, of course, is their potential superstar, thought to be another Earl Campbell. But he has been scoped 3 times on his left knee. He came back and played for the first time in a year and a half last week. But he will play today.
Big play, 3rd and 4, ball, maybe 3rd and 3, ball on the 24-yard line. Todd Dodge calling signals. The give, second man through. This is Nelson, first down, Texas. L.B. Washington, the linebacker out of Dallas, comes up to make the hit, but not before the Longhorns grab that first down.
Kent Trammell and Gene Shelton. What a battle this is going to be. Shelton wins it this time. Number 74 beats number 91, Kent Trammell. And that could be one of the key matchups in the offensive line today. I think it's going to ultimately get down to a battle of the trenches. Gene Shelton, the junior, is 6'3", 295. They call him Gene the Coke Machine.
Todd Dodge, who is 235 yards away from the all-time record for a quarterback throwing the football for Texas, fumbles the football there, recovers it himself at the 20-yard line. In fact, Todd Dodge and his receiver, number 7, Brent Duhan, went to the same high school in Port Arthur, Texas, Jefferson High School there. Had a great high school career, continuing it here at the University of Texas. Going to see this play once again. See whose fault it was here, Lee.
The snap appeared to come up well. I think that Dodge just didn't have, I think he may have spread his hands a little bit too early.
2nd and 12, loss of a couple on the fumble by Dodge. Rolling right, going to put it up in the air, going to the end zone, got a man, touchdown, Texas, Bill Boy Bryant. Todd Dodge to Bill Boy Bryant, 21 yards for the score, and Texas is out in front with 9:18 to go here in the first quarter.
That was an important sequence for quarterback Todd Dodge. We told you that he would need to regain his confidence following that 5-interception game last week.
Jeff Ward for the extra point. It's up and it is good. One more time, we can see Todd Dodge rifle it to the end zone and a wide open Bill Boy Bryant.
Dodge, these are his best kind of routes, the intermediate patterns. Bill Boy Bryant, running a corner pattern, is working on Garland Little, number 20. He beats him by 2 steps, and the ball is right there.
Texas takes advantage of a TCU turnover. Dodge, the touchdown pass. They lead 7-0.
Listen to these stuffy noses.
Afrin doesn't have it.
Tristan doesn't have it.
Only Sinex has it. Ooh! That quick feeling of relief from instantly penetrating Vicks vapors, plus a powerful decongestant that opens nasal passages and allows you to breathe freely.
Ah, complete relief.
For hours and hours, Sinex gives you both instant relief and complete relief. Sinex in regular and extra strength.
From Vicks, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, the new 1985 Colts from Japan. Colts represent automotive quality.
Konnichiwa. Sayonara.
Like the economical Colt 3-door, the stylish new 4-door sedan, the exciting turbo, the versatile Colt Vista.
The new 1985 Colts.
入るか出てるか決めてくださいよ。
Imported for Dodge and Plymouth. Built by Mitsubishi in Japan.
No.
Colt. It's all the Japanese you need to know.
They've got something here at TCU called Smash Mouth football, a certain brand of Horned Frog football. We talked to head coach Jim Wacker and asked him what that's all about.
Just means basically football's a very physical game. You play it one-on-one, and if we beat them one-on-one in the trenches, man-on-man, we get a good chance to win the football game. If we don't, we're in trouble. It is, it's like hard-nosed. That doesn't mean you've got an iron nose or some crazy thing. That means it's physical football, and that's the same thing Smash Mouth means to us.
Smash Mouth football, great stuff. Jim Wacker, quite a character. He's got his own television show down here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The highest-rated coaches show, as a matter of fact, against all the other ones, the Cowboys and everybody else. Entertaining man. 7-0. Texas to lead. Dodge to Bill Boy Bryant. Short kick right side. Ward at about the 15-yard line. Kicks it to Egypt Allen. Again, his second carry on the kick. 25-yard line, 26-yard line. And that's where Texas Christian will try it again. Lost the ball their last series on a Tony Jeffrey fumble, and that's what led to the Dodge to Bill Boy Bryant touchdown pass. As you can see, the Horned Frogs offense up among the leaders in several categories. Look at that total offense lead, 467 plus.
Fantastically productive offensive year for TCU as they have perfected the split back veer.
Anthony Gully at quarterback. Looked like somebody moved initially. The give to Kenneth Davis, right side. He is hit early.
One thing to amplify on what I just said, Corey, they are a true option team. And what I mean is that when the quarterback starts down the line of scrimmage, they don't know how the play is going to end up. So the word is, if we don't know, they don't know. Meaning if the offense doesn't know, the defense doesn't know either.
Another Southwest Conference score, SMU as expected, having their way against Texas Tech. Baylor today trailing Rice by 6 in the second quarter. Gully to give to Jeffrey. He's going nowhere. In fact, a loss of a yard. Tony DeGreat, the man to make the hit. Jim Wacker on the sideline. His offensive machine so far unable to produce.
So they've taken away part one of the option play. That's the dive. Part two, of course, is where the quarterback keeps it himself. Part three is where you pitch to the trailing back.
3rd and 7. TCU looking for their first down of the ball game. Gully will throw on the roll. Puts it up and hits his man. That is James Manus. First down, TCU at the 39-yard line.
James Manus is one of the premier wide receivers in all of college football. He has world-class speed. Watching. Hook pattern, comes back toward the football. He's converged on right there. It looked like he may have twisted his leg there, but he comes up. He's all right.
Manus has had 9 career 100-yard days, 27th consecutive game he has caught a pass. He is a speed merchant. Give up the middle, good for 2 or 3 yards. Tony DeGreat makes the hit.
To continue with the Manus story, he's a 2-time All-American in track. He has 9.4 speed in the 100-yard dash. He was part of a record-setting relay team. You might want to amplify on that. But anyway, he's been twice All-American in track, and he could be an All-American in football.
He'd be the first guy in the Southwest Conference history to become an All-American in 2 sports, by the way. Gully gonna keep it. Can't get by. June James, the outstanding linebacker from Kansas City, Missouri. James stacks him up, set up a 3rd and about 7 for TCU. Ball right now, the 43-yard line.
June James is one of those guys who isn't exceptionally big for his linebacker position. 6'2", 220. But he plays wall-to-wall linebacker. Good instincts, has a real nose for the football.
Akers calls James one of the top football players in the country. 3rd and 7 for the Frogs, their own 43-yard line. Gully gonna fire. little bit of pressure there. Going out left side, knocked out of bounds. That is Thomas Aldridge, who forces him out, along with help from June James, and TCU will have to kick it away again.
The man we were just talking about, number 62, June James, the weak side linebacker, forces the play, strings it out, takes him to the sideline. And one thing about the boundary has never missed a tackle.
James Gargis on to punt for Texas Christian. Back to receive. It's a short punt at about the 28-yard line is Rob Marshall, Texas, with a football again. It's 7-0, 6:23 to go here in the first quarter.
It was moving day. Things were going great. Till the moving truck died at the toll booth gate. The troopers were glaring. Tempers were flaring.
Do I hear swearing?
What's more, it started to pour. The tow truck came and we gave a cheer. Then the couch slid out the rear. Now I know Ryder trucks are newer. They're tougher, they're strong. And driving a bargain sure didn't pay. So next time I'll think this way. It's Ryder or it's wrong.
Life's not always easy, and no one said it's fair.
Only one card provides peace of mind for nearly 80 million Americans, the Blue Cross and Blue Shield card.
But you can find some peace of mind when you hold on to the one that cares. Carry on with the life you're living. Carry the caring card.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield card.
Fred Akers, the University of Texas, ranked #1 early in the year, right now at number 10. Nobody thought they'd be in a position to go to the Cotton Bowl. We asked Fred Akers about that the other day.
I'm very, very proud of this football team. I admire them very much. They've not let many things get in their way. They've not been discouraged. They're not discouraged now. After last week, you know, I think it might cause them just to fight harder. But it's been an amazing group of young people.
Particularly Todd Dodge obviously didn't get his dauber down because that last sequence was vintage Todd Dodge. He led his team 29 yards in 5 plays. Very opportunistic.
Nelson right side. Got some room. Turns it up. Billy Jones knocks him out. Kevin Nelson, 5'9", 183 pounds. He's a good one.
Watch this play from the I formation. It's a good look at tailback Kevin Nelson, number 32, and one of the best plays that Texas has had in recent weeks. It's the misdirection play where he takes a step to his left, comes back to the right side, ultimately run out of bounds by number 1, Billy Jones.
This kid was supposed to be a wide receiver last spring. A lot of injuries, the tailback position. He was thrust into a job and he's performed very, very well. This time they give to Ronnie Robinson. He is hit. David Caldwell comes up to knock him, number 48 for TCU. Jim Wacker trying to figure out.
He is a story within a story. I've been a Wacker watcher since his days at Texas Lutheran, going back to those great championship teams he had in the early 70s. He has coached 4 national championship teams, 2 at Texas Lutheran and 2 at Southwest Texas State. I covered his team in the Palm Bowl when they won it all in 1982.
2nd and 10 for Texas, 41-yard line. This is Dodge rolling, gonna put it up. Near side, he's got a man. It's Bill Boyd Bryant across midfield to the 47-yard line of TCU. Sean Thomas there to put the hit on immediately. So Dodge and Bryant hook up again.
This is what Bryant does exceptionally well. He is an excellent possession receiver, meaning that he can run the sideline, the hook, the turns for you. Sean Thomas, number 22, is in good position there, but Bill Boyd runs a very precise route. He's 5'10", 153, and is a former high school quarterback.
Dodge, handoff, Nelson, got some room, keeps the feet pumping. Up close to another first down for Texas. Darren Turner makes the stop at about the 38-yard line of Texas Christian. Texas's offense moving the football. Number 6, Oklahoma. First quarter score leading Nebraska. And look at this score. Navy 38, South Carolina 21. Score nobody figured to see today. BYU in the third quarter leading Utah by only 3 points. Oklahoma State 16-10 on Iowa State. 2nd and 1. Texas. Handoff. First man through Ronnie Robinson. Got the first down. You see the rain gear. Everybody got it on today. Florida capturing the SEC crown 25-17, beat Kentucky. Florida, what a season for them. LSU, Mississippi State. LSU got to win today. That's a second quarter score. 4 minutes, 28 seconds to go here in the first quarter. The Longhorns lead 7-0.
And they have a good drive working right now, and it's an important drive for them psychologically.
First down, 35-yard line. Dive, the straight drop back. Going long, and he's got Bryant. No, incomplete pass. Bryant stretching out all the way. Couldn't quite bring it down. Dodge and Bryant almost hooked up for touchdown reception number 2. Garland Little's the man on defense.
This ball is
TCU.
beautifully thrown pass by Todd Dodge, number 13. The coverage by number 20, Garland Little's on Bill Boy Bryant, who's running a fly pattern. The ball was thrown with a nice soft looping trajectory. Make that Sean Thomas, number 22, the cornerback, who was pretty much step for step with Bill Boy Bryant. But that's how close you come to a touchdown sometimes on the fly pattern.
Well, Dodge could fire the football. In fact, he was the first high school player in Texas history to throw for 3,000 yards in one season. Can you believe that? 2nd and 10, 35-yard line. The give it is a fumble on the play, and Texas Christian has recovered. Kent Trammell, the nose guard, comes up with a football. Kevin Nelson couldn't hang on, and TCU gets a break and the football.
Kent Trammell, number 91, a massive nose tackle, pulls his way in right here, takes on Kevin Nelson, and then covers the football.
So Texas Christian has the football on their own 36-yard line. Going to try to tie it up when we come back.
Every day, BMW presents a comprehensive report on the state of automotive technology, not through some dry dissertation or the theoretical vacuum of a laboratory, but rather through a more appropriate vehicle. The BMW 733i, the luxury sedan that translates the intricacies of technology into that very elusive commodity called fun.
Sharp introduces a revolutionary change for the copy center. The compact, affordable Sharp SF900. It has 3 different production modes and an enlargement mode. It does the fast 40 copies per minute and has an optional sorter and automatic document feeder. In short, it does all the work of a copy center without taking up all the room.
The compact, affordable Sharp SF900. From Sharp Minds come Sharp products.
That's right, Davy O'Brien, 1938 Heisman Trophy winner. I'll tell you a little known fact about Davy O'Brien. He set a Southwest Conference record for career interceptions with 18.
Didn't you play with him for a while back in those days? Smart guy. 1st and 10, TCU, 37-yard line. Anthony Gully scrambling, hits the man. That is Dan Sharp, 45, 40, 35, knocked down at about the 32-yard line. Big gainer for Texas Christian. TCU moving the football now. Let's check into New York with Jim Lampley.
All right, Corey McFerrin, and just as a fumble recovery set up a touchdown in your game, likewise up at Lincoln, where after recovering a fumble, the Oklahoma Sooners went 26 yards, scored on that Bradley 1-yard plunge, and they lead Nebraska 7-0 in the first period. Back to Corey McFerrin.
Thanks, Jim. 37 yards. Anthony Gully to Dan Sharp this time. Gully coming near side. Fires it. Does Manus have it? He does. Great catch. 17-yard line. Gully to Manus. Watch it again.
Keep your eye on number 88, James Manus, as he comes on a deep slant in pattern and with perfect concentration. Great hand-eye coordination right there. And we talked about his 9.4 speed in the 100-yard dash.
Gully putting it up with some success. This time to the ground. That is Kenneth Davis. Good for a couple of yards.
Gully is off to a great start. 3 for 3 now in the passing department for 65 yards. The big play, of course, that pass to Dan Sharp before we went away. Sharp is listed as the flex end, which means that he's a combination tight end and wide receiver.
Gully doesn't throw all that much, but when he does, he throws it accurately. Leads the Southwest Conference in passing efficiency. 2nd and 7, 13-yard line. Jeffrey pulling his way up the middle. Look at the crowd here. It's cool today. We've had some rain, but there aren't many seats empty. In fact, I can't see you one. The folks here in Fort Worth are pumped up, and TCU right now driving the football on the 8-yard line. It's 3rd and 1. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. TCU attempting to tie this ball game up at 7. Davis, number 36 in the backfield. Gully with the football. Tackled for a loss by Jerry Gray back at the 13-yard line. The All-American comes up with a clutch defensive play.
No wonder pro scouts think Jerry Gray will be one of the first players chosen in next year's pro draft. He's 6'1", 190 pounds. Look at the speed, the instincts, the reading ability that he has as he comes in and takes down the quarterback on part 2 of the triple option.
Ken Ozzie on for the field goal attempt. It is up 27 yards, and it is good. So Texas Christian unable to tie the ball game up, but they are on the board with 1 minute 50 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Texas now leads it 7-3. And Jim Wacker congratulating his players on a fine drive. Anthony Gully, the key man on that drive. 7-3 our score. Ozzie, fine kicker. 8 of 11, they make it 9 of 12 on the year. Longest this year. Friday now, 36 yards. It's Monday night. The Steelers and the Saints. Monday Night Football. AFC Central Division leading Pittsburgh Steelers down to the Superdome, taking on the Saints. I'm sure Lynn Swan will be watching that game, don't you think, Cup? Right here at ABC, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Home of the Super Bowl this year, of course, right here at ABC.
Swanee will be watching, and a lot of Texans will be watching because Earl Campbell is toting the mail now for the Saints.
Earl Campbell and George Rogers, a couple of Heisman Trophy winners for the New Orleans Saints this year. John Denton to kick it off for Texas Christian. Tillman and Marshall are back to receive. 10-yard line. That is Tillman up across the 20 to the 25, where he's hit and brought down about the 28-yard line. 17-yard return for Tillman, averaging 25 yards to return. Got some interesting mascots here at the ball game today. One of the best. Now let's go down to Lynn Swan.
Well, Corey, we've seen a lot of mascots over the years, but this is the famous Horned Frog mascot of TCU. It's been around here as a mascot since 1897. They say it even spits blood at you when it comes too close to you. Well, this little Horned Frog has got his work cut out for him as TCU is fighting to get back in this ball game and overcome some odds, get to the Cotton Bowl.
You just saw Edwin Simmons hit and hit hard by David Spradlin and Byron Lidwood. Simmons in the ball game with his first carry of the day. He's the gentleman that Lee talked about earlier. The guy, Fred Akers, says is as good as I have ever seen trying to come back from some knee problems. He is a good one.
Believe it or not, he's 6'4", 230, runs the 40-yard dash in 4.4. He's also an excellent receiver and blocker.
2nd and 11, loss of a yard. Simmons almost loses the football on that play. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and maybe TCU has the football. Gary Spahn grabbed the ball. They're not going to give it to him. Watch this one again. I don't think Simmons got a good grab on the football to begin with.
Let's watch how he holds his arms right here. He loses his shoe. He lost his shoe, so he was off balance. He never gets a real handle on the ball right there, and he was lucky he didn't lose it.
There you see him walking off. Somebody's got to help him tie his shoe a little better. 3rd and 10, 35 seconds to go. First quarter. Nelson replacing Simmons in the backfield. That's Todd Dodge, number 13 at quarterback. Throws it up. It is incomplete. Ball intended for Bill Boy Bryant. TCU's defense holds Billy Jones, the defender, on that play, and Texas will punt the ball away.
One of the keys to the success of the Frogs, of course, is the improvement of their defensive unit. That unit really has no specific weaknesses. They have a good front wall, good active linebackers, and some excellent athletes in the secondary, guys who have been consistent and have also come up with the big plays.
John Telchik does not wear the shoe on that right foot, as you can see. Gets off the kick. Near side bouncing out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. And TCU will get the football back with 13 seconds to go here in the first quarter. That punt 48 yards, and of course no return. Telchik, one of the top punters in the country this year. He leads, in fact, the Southwest Conference a net average of 41.9 per kick. He's a tough one. In fact, last week, in a very windy game over in Austin, averaged just about 44 yards in 5 kicks in that Houston game.
That's a good point. He has been basically unaffected by the elements.
First and 10, 26-yard line for Texas Christian. They trail 7-3 here in the late stages of the first quarter. And there's a fumble again, I believe. Jeffrey, for the second time today, Texas says they've got it, and they do. Wow. 27-yard line, Ralph Darnell. Watch it.
We were isolated on number 99, Tony DeGreat. Watch his pursuit down the line of scrimmage. Gets in on the tackle along with Darnell. Darnell strips the football and covers the ball for the recovery, and Texas once again knocking at the door. This has been an opportunistic team.
Second fumble by Jeffrey this afternoon, and Texas with a ball now on the 27-yard line. A real gift again from TCU. 6 seconds to go, first quarter. Harris in motion, the pitch. This is Simmons. Looks like he wants to throw. He does to the end zone. Look out. Intercepted by TCU. That is Sean Thomas deep in the end zone. The ball intended for Bill Boy Bryant. Little razzle-dazzle here to end the first quarter. And the TCU fans go wild as they get the football back.
Bill Boy Bryant, straight fly pattern. Simmons on the option pass. The coverage by number 22, Sean Thomas, is perfect. And that is an amazing interception there to end the first.
Actually, 2 seconds to go in the first quarter, but this guy, we've been told, has an excellent shot to be a first-round draft pick this year, Sean Thomas, out of Sacramento, California. Gully having some trouble in the backfield. Gets by one man, tries the other way, got some speed, turns it up 25, 28, up to the 30-yard line, and a great individual athletic effort by Anthony Gully, turning what looked like a loss to a great run to almost first down yardage at the 30-yard line. Thomas makes the interception. Texas leads 7-3 after 1 quarter.
Which computer company is making more room in the computer room? A company with the technology to build a computer system that's more powerful and more reliable than its older cousins, but a whole lot smaller. That company is NCR.
Hello? Your new computer's here.
Their computer's everything the big computers were, except big. Innovative computer technology. You can expect it from NCR.
The Nikon FG is the 35mm camera sophisticated enough for the serious photographer.
Camera, pictures, human fun.
Yet switched to programmed, it's simple enough for total beginners. And it's so reasonably priced, it even makes a great gift.
Hey, Morty, look at this. Another brand new FG. Why do these earthlings keep giving us their cameras?
Today, it's not at all rare for drivers to keep their cars for 10 years or longer. It's also not at all rare for 10-year-old BMWs to retain more than 90% of their original value. Which leads us to the BMW 318i. One of the best reasons for buying it is because someday you might want to sell it.
We talk about the turnaround for TCU. It's been amazing. Won only one game all of last year. Trying to go for their 9th victory in 10 games right now. 1st and 10 as we begin the second quarter. The give to Kenneth Davis over the right side. Let's now go down to Lynn Swan. And Lynn, what about the weather conditions today? Is that affecting play?
I think it is, Corey. It's a little bit cold, and both fumbles that you had in the ball game by Tony Jeffrey, he was the first back going into the line. That's where the ball handling is most difficult. So when it's cold, the ball could be a little wet and heavy. You're going to have some turnovers. Take a look at it. Keep your eye on it. We could see more in the ball game.
Thank you, Lynn. TCU. 2nd and 7, 33-yard line. Gully pitching it out to Davis. Gets a couple, but not much.
And to amplify on what Lynn Swan was just saying, turnovers that you see underscored there, 2 apiece. And that means that Texas has had 11 turnovers now in the last 5 quarters of play. They had 9 turnovers in the ballgame last week against Houston. Other than that, the game is just about as even as you see right there.
To go back one game further, in fact, Lee, would make 17 turnovers in their last 3 ball games. Something Fred Akers does not like to see. 3rd and 5, 35-yard line. Gully right side. Wants to throw. Fires it. It is complete to James Manus. 1st down. TCU, it appears, at the 41, maybe the 42-yard line.
James Manus not only has speed, he has moves. He knows how to find the open area, be it a man coverage or zone. The man closest to him is number 6, Stephen Braggs, who gets the hit right there. But you can see why pro scouts are very excited about James Manus. Number 88 is taking a little breather right there. Manus now has 3 receptions for 35 yards.
Handoff, Jeffrey whirling up the middle for about 3 on the 1st down carry. You know, Davis in the 1st quarter carried the ball only 4 times for TCU. Obviously, TCU knows Texas keying on Davis. They're trying to go to Jeffrey a little bit more and throw it up more often than they have in the past.
Well, it's a good tandem. Jeffrey and Davis, I think, may turn out to be the best running tandem in the country next year. They're both young.
2nd and 6, 46-yard line. Gully, this is Davis. Almost breaks it through, gets the 1st down into Texas territory. Ty Allard makes the stop at about the 45-yard line, 46-yard line of Texas.
TCU essentially is a right-handed team, and not surprisingly, because they have number 76, James Benson, the right tackle there, who leads the team in pancakes, and Dan Sharp also contributing there. And Davis has gotten most of his yards off that right side.
Davis gained 100 yards plus 5 of his last 7 ball games. Tony Jeffrey that time stacked up quickly. There's a flag on the play. Check it out. There we see the Horned Frog. Talk to a lovely co-ed. SMU halftime 21-zip on Texas Tech. Rice leads Baylor by 6. That's a 2nd quarter score. Maryland over Clemson today, an ACC contest. The penalty against TCU, as you can see, 24-all. Virginia and North Carolina. That's a final score. Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets, beat up on Wake Forest a little bit today, 24-7. Other ACC action, Duke over NC State, 16-13.
False start, I think, still 1st down.
False start, as you can hear. Still 1st down, but now it's back in TCU territory. Alabama 29-7 on the Bearcats at the University of Cincinnati. It'll be 1st and 15 now. We're early in the 2nd quarter. The Longhorns lead the Horned Frogs by a score of 7-3. Gully with the fake, trying to find a man, lofts it out, incomplete. Trying to get it to Dan Sharp and overthrows him. Now let's go to New York and Jim Lampley. Jim?
Well, BYU has been struggling in Salt Lake City against Utah, but this rollout touchdown pass in the closing minutes from Bosco to Kelly Smith has now given the Cougars a little breathing room. Less than 2 minutes to go. They lead by 10. We'll keep you posted as BYU goes for number 22 in a row. Back to you, Corey.
Lee had a chance to watch BYU early in the year. That Bosco is incredible.
It's been a long time since my alma mater, the University of Utah, has beaten BYU.
Giving a pretty good run, though, today. Gully on a 2nd and 15. got some time. Look at him scramble, dumps it off. This is Davis. Puts the head down and bumps it up to about the 43 of Texas. Tony Edwards is there. Tony, the #1 tackler on this Texas club.
We were isolated on the flex end, number 80, Dan Sharp, who is covered well this time by Stephen Bragg, number 6. So as a result of that, Gully went to his outlet receiver, the back, Kenneth Davis. That was the 9th play in the current drive, and it started back at the 20-yard line, so they have a pretty good drive working now. And if they can continue it, it could be one of the important drives of the football game.
3rd and 7, 43-yard line. Gully going to throw it again. Near side, it is incomplete. James Maness had it in his right hand, it looked like, but it bounces off. Incomplete pass. Sets up a 4th and 7 for TCU.
James Maness very unhappy with himself because he has run an excellent route here. James Lott, number 9, is on the coverage. Maness has a step on him. He lost his hand-eye coordination momentarily. He looked downfield instead of watching that ball into his hands. And as a result of that, he lost it. He's very unhappy with himself. Catchable ball.
It's one he should have had, and he knows it. James Gargis on to punt for the Frogs. It's a shot to the right corner. Going to go into the end zone. So Texas back on offense. 11:47 to go. They lead it by a score of 7-3. More action for Fort Worth in a moment.
Aha, pink footprints. Clear that this house is built with high-quality building products. Observe Exhibit A, the pink attic blanket insulation from Owens Corning. The most powerful roll of thermal protection you can buy. Follow me. Exhibit B, long-lasting roof shingles with a heart of pink fiberglass. Again, from Owens Corning. And attractive, easy to install Owens Corning fiberglass ceiling panels. Yo! Finally, the high-quality Owens Corning tub shower. Its slip-resistant surface has a, excusez-moi, a pink panther.
Owens Corning, our building products put your house in the pink.
Texas quarterback Todd Dodge, 2 of 4, 33 yards, coming off a nightmarish game last week with 5 interceptions. How does he come back? We asked him.
Well, mostly I just couldn't wait for Monday to get here and just start on the game plan for TCU and as much as possible put it behind me, not think about it, and just think of all the positive things that I did before that game, and that's seemed to work for me this week.
So far so good. Todd Dodge, first pass of the game in the first quarter. A touchdown strike, and Texas leads at 7-3. Under 12 minutes to go here in the first half. 20-yard line for the Horns. Terry Orr up the middle, powering his way across the 25-yard line to about the 27. Bill Tomini and Byron Linwood hook up for the stop.
We felt that one of the key matchups today would be right here in the trenches. Kent Trammell has been highly rated as a nose tackle position, but Gene Chilton, the massive center for the Longhorns, has been winning the battle in the middle of the field today.
2nd and 3. Ball on the 27-yard line. It's Terry Orr, number 37. Number 33 is Simmons, and he is stacked up by about 19 TCU players, it looks like. Gerald Taylor, the main man on the stop, along with Darren Turner, a man they like to call Psycho.
Gene Chilton, who we just talked about, had been moved to tackle, and they felt that to improve the running game, particularly in the middle, they wanted him back at center. And that's where they're running today. They're running tackle to tackle, and particularly up the middle.
You see that hook in the horn signal that's famous across the country? That, as a matter of fact, was developed back in 1955 at a pep rally before the Texas TCU game. Put that one away in your facts and figures notebook there.
1955, I remember it, some year.
3rd and 2. Timeout, Texas. Todd Dodge wants to talk things over. 10:28 to go here in the first half. Texas leads at 7-3. Back with Texas on offense when we return.
Mrs. Smith wanted a small new car that's built to last. Mr. Smith wanted a big new car with room for 5 and lots of suitcases and German engineering. But the Smiths had less than $7,000. So, how did they get all they wanted?
Well, Jim
who had the interception earlier in the
Smart.
Tim Green's face, a difficult position to put Paul Green, a freshman, that he's never played the position of fullback before.
It's a
offense, but he didn't know that part of it.
And that's what Tim Green was reminding him of. He said, when you see the...
Be a 45-yard field goal attempt by Steve Jordan.
More.
Excellent. Last week with 3 field goals against
waterproof.
Way, it's good. So the Trojans now have added 3 points, and it's 6-3 in favor of UCLA.
Energizer.
He was excited that his defense...
Next Saturday on CFA College Football, Big 8 powers go at it when 4th-ranked Oklahoma State runs into the tough defense of number 6 Oklahoma. Live at 3:30 Eastern on ABC.
OSU and Oklahoma, number 4 against number 6. Last time Oklahoma State won that game, as a matter of fact, was back in 1976 in Norman, 31-24. OSU with a great shot. Number 6, Oklahoma today, a second quarter score up on Nebraska's 7-zip. Oklahoma State leads Iowa State, or has defeated Iowa State, I should say. The final score there is 16-10. Fred Akers, his Longhorns tied Oklahoma earlier in the year, 15 all. Right now, 3rd and 2. Terry Orr with the football. Byron Linwood is there to make the stop. I don't think he made the first down.
Byron Linwood, we mentioned earlier, despite the fact that he's listed as a strong safety, is really like an extra linebacker because they move him around a lot, and he's been very active. You see his numbers reflected there. He's over 100 tackles now for the 2nd year in a row. He had 117 tackles in 1983. He has good speed for a man his size. He runs a 4.6 40. And he's 6'2", 205 pounds.
And if you think back to last year's Texas TCU game, you might remember that it was Linwood who ran back an interception 66 yards for a touchdown. As you say, the guy's got a little bit of speed. John Telsnick punts it away, low kick, bouncing at about the 40. Out of the 35-yard line.
I thought it hit a Texas player.
Looked like it did. There's some discussion. 38-yard punt. What's going to happen? That might be it. Big discussion going on. Texas with the football. Wow. See if we can see it again. Unbelievable turn of events here. 35-yard line. You don't see that happen very often. But that's one reason why you got to look up in the air at the football on a punt.
I think it hits the left foot.
Billy Oliver, number 23.
Billy Oliver, number 23. That makes it a free ball. Texas falls on it, and they've got the football again in great field position.
Bad break for the Frogs. 35-yard line. Texas back on offense. Dodge, handoff, Simmons, left side. First through across the 30 down the 28-yard line. Trammell makes the hit. Now let's check in with Lynn Swan on the sidelines. Lynn.
Corey, as you've all mentioned, it's another big game for Texas. Not so for TCU. They don't get a chance to play in the big one often. But Fred Akers said before the game, that's why young kids come to Texas. They know that every year they'll have a chance for the Cotton Bowl and maybe a national ranking across the country. That's why his teams are always prepared. And it's a week unlike any other week they had this year, but like every week they have season to season.
Last Cotton Bowl for TCU, January 59 versus the Air Force Academy. You see TCU coming over the line there. We'll see if they were drawn across. Precisely what the penalty will be. In fact, that Air Force TCU game was a 0-0 tie. 25 years ago. The penalty will be against Texas Christian. Frog fans don't like that a bit. Pretty easy way to give Texas a first down. 29-yard line, or 24-yard line. First down, Texas after the offsides. Back in '82, NCAA Division II Coach of the Year. That was when he coached at Southwest Texas State. Simmons Left side up close to the 20, tripped up there.
Now watch closely as Telchnik's punch hits the left foot of number 23, Billy Oliver, the cornerback for TCU. Now here's Oliver, and you see very quickly there that the ball made contact with his foot, making it a free ball, therefore recoverable by Texas.
Big break, 2nd and 6. Simmons, by the way, lost his shoe on that last play. Second time that's happened this afternoon. Kevin Nelson in the ball game now. The fake to Nelson. Dodge wants to pump it up. Going long it is. Incomplete. Sean Thomas breaks it up. The ball intended for Bill Boyd. Bryant, good defensive play from the senior out of Sacramento, California.
We've talked about Kevin Dean, the left defensive end, number 97. He's known as a wild man. His nickname is Psycho. He gets by Nelson there and applies backside pressure to the quarterback right there. And that's what does it.
Sean Thomas almost came up with another interception. He leads the Southwest Conference with 8, including 1 today. Big play, 3rd and 6, 20-yard line. Dive. The give. Nelson. To about the 18-yard line. Gary Spann and Paul Jones team up on the tackle.
Spann is one of those players like James, who isn't very big for a linebacker, but is extremely active, has that nose for the football, plays wall-to-wall linebackers, always seems to wind up at least close to the ball.
Jeff Ward, excellent field goal kicker, going to try it. Ball will be placed on the 25-yard line, going for a 35-yard kick. Long one of 52 this year. Looks good from this angle, and it is. 35-yard field goal by Jeff Ward. And Texas goes out in front now by a score of 10-3. 7:52 to go in the first half.
There's a time in life for the young to say, I want something else, a different way. The town's the same, the people too. School is over, needs something to do. The services have it, it'll really show. You'll see new places, you'll really grow in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Challenge, adventure, excitement too, a time to enjoy and see something new. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll work hard, feel really free, serving your country for all to see in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Be part of a team, be friends forever. A part of the services you won't forget ever. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Big, fast, nimble, durable, versatile. 5,000 new parts, German engineered. Introducing the new Volkswagen Golf, the new definition of hatchbacks. When you work on the new Golf as hard as we have, for as long as we have, everything just falls into place. Golf, it's not a car, it's a Volkswagen.
No doubt about that one, but it's kind of a surprising question because, you know, you think with all of the All-Americans that Texas has had through the years, they have only had 1 Heisman Trophy winner.
Earl Campbell, Jeff Ward, the man to connect on that field goal. 8 of 8 this year inside the 39-yard line. One of the best in the country this year. Makes it a 10-3 score with 7 minutes and 52 seconds remaining.
All 10 of those points coming as a result of turnovers.
On the right side of your screen, you just saw Scott Ankrum was a backup quarterback for TCU. This time, though, the ball comes down. Number 33, Roscoe Tatum, big wall and blockers in front of him. Falls over the 30 to about the 32-yard line. They're having some fun today, and so far that rain has held off for the most part. 22-yard return for Tatum.
It poured for about 10 minutes just prior to kickoff.
Boy, did it come down. Wow. The Frogs, by the way, have trailed 5 times this year and come back to win 4 of them. Of course, they only lost SMU early in the year. Trying to go to 9-1. Texas's record 6-1-1. Gully. Sacked. Tony DeGreat. Back at the 21-yard line. This is the kid we've been talking about, 6'4", 287. He is one of the best defensive tackles in college football.
Definitely one of the premier defensive linemen in all of college football, and rated as a first-round draft pick by most of the pro scouts that I've talked to. He has the size you like, good speed, good intensity. Now watch how he stays focused on the quarterback here once he breaks through the line and drags down Gully for a 10-yard loss.
DeGrate's 9th sack on the year. He leads Texas in that department. 2nd and 20. Gully throwing. He's got him incomplete. Keith Burnett, number 84, and about the 45-yard line of Texas cannot make the catch. Tony Griffin supplies the coverage. Good-looking throw. We got a flag on the play as well. We'll watch it again.
Keith Burnett, like Manus, is a wide receiver who has good speed. He's running a corner pattern here. The ball is thrown out there far enough, a little bit behind him. Griffin on the coverage. That ball was catchable.
Second catch of a ball the TCU receiving corps has been unable to bring down. The penalty, as you can see, against Texas Christian. Let's listen in. Illegal receiver downfield sets up a 3rd and 25 in the ball game for the first time. Anthony Scaraffa, number 10 at quarterback, replacing Gully. Jim Wacker going to see if Scaraffa can't get something going. Near side. Puts the ball up, a bullet pass. It is caught. That is James Manus. He may go. Puts a move on. 40-yard line. Inside the Texas 40. Brought down by James Lott. Scaraffa comes on and makes something happen on the very first play.
Scaraffa, who is considered the better passer of the two quarterbacks, really rifles this ball as he rolls first, sets up behind the tackle. Now Manus on a crossing pattern from left to right gets in front of the... Look at the Texas secondary. They take each other out. There's a collision there. That frees Manus momentarily. He continues, and Lott, number 9, finally makes the tackle.
Scaraffa wants to fire again, going long. This time it's Dan Sharp, incomplete. You can see Scaraffa's got a rifle for an arm. Scaraffa, 5'10", 205, senior out of San Antonio. Injured an ankle in the opening game against Utah State. Started that first game, in fact, led that remarkable recovery against Arkansas, scored the final touchdown of that ball game. And look at this, Lee.
A long time between Cotton Bowls.
It has been a while. TCU of power in the late 50s are getting it back now. Here's the pitch. This is Davis. Turns it up. 20-yard line. Down to about the 16 where he's pushed out. First big run of the afternoon for Davis as Tony Griffin, the man to push him out of bounds.
It was just a matter of time till Kenneth Davis got loose. Here is one of the premier running backs in college football as the trailing back in the option play gets loose. Look at the leg strength right there. He has improved his upper body and leg strength dramatically in the last year.
23 yards. Davis on the pitch out. 1st and 10, 15-yard line. This time straight up the middle. Davis picks up 3 or 4 more.
Kenny Davis has improved his bench press from 265 to 365 in the last year or so, and also has worked a lot on the leg machine. You saw the leg strength there on that run. You called him an Earl Campbell with moves. That's not a bad description.
First player in Southwest Conference history to record 3 200-yard games. This time up the middle, it's fumbled again. Davis, the ball is loose, and Texas has recovered the football. That is Stephen Bragg's number 6. Scaraffa is upset about it, and the referee has changed the decision. A mixed reaction from the crowd. Watch it.
Scaraffa. That's part 1 of the triple option. The handoff to Kenneth Davis. And it looked momentarily like Texas had recovered the fumble.
Couldn't tell exactly when the ball squirted loose. But TCU has the football. 3rd and 5. Ball in the 10. Scaraffa going right. Going to the end zone now. It is up. It is. Is it caught? Wow, what a catch. Manus. There's a flag on the play. It may be offensive interference.
I think Manus is going to get called for pushing off.
Remarkable catch, but he might have pushed off to help himself out. Discussion in the end zone. Scaraffa is right there. The tight end, Dan Ford, is there. Scaraffa signaling touchdown. And let's see, do we have a tie ball game? Yes! Touchdown is good. TCU 1 point away from Texas. Incredible catch in the end zone.
James Manus, number 88, the wide receiver in isolation, runs his pass route right there. Coverage by James Lott. Look at the concentration right there as he doesn't lose it and holds onto the ball. Both feet are in, so it's a touchdown for TCU. We're going to have a tie football game.
Wow, what a play by Manus. You can see why the pro scouts are drooling, and it's blocked. We do not have a tie. Big, big play by the University of Texas. And it looks as if Chris Dullivan, reserve linebacker, special team star, is the man to get a hand on that ball. Big, big play. Texas blocks the extra point. They still lead in the ball game. 5:29 to go, 10-9 to score.
This is Mr. Goodrich, and did you know there are ways you can tell if your GM car's shock absorbers are okay? For one, check your tires. If they show unusual wear, like cupping at one spot, it can mean worn shocks. Make your car hard to handle. So see Mr. Goodwrench. I have the right equipment, training, and genuine GM Blue Line replacement shocks available. They have a lifetime limited warranty.
It's another of Mr. Goodwrench's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
What would you call a video recorder that has everything?
I call it smart.
It's a Zenith VHS with extraordinary VHS hi-fi stereo.
Smart.
Plus a remote that can control both the deck and the TV.
Controls both. That's smart.
And clear special effects.
Smart.
One of the new smart decks, Zenith's VHS video recorders. When you want everything.
Very smart.
Watch the work of number 39, Chris Dullivan, the weak linebacker, as he comes in and gives a clinic on how to block a conversion. Those are the kind of plays you look back on and you say, hey, maybe that's where the ball game turned. Or maybe that's what decided it right there.
First time TCU has missed an extra point since the very first ball game of the year.
That's why coaches stress the importance of special teams or special units. They say that 1 out of every 4 or 5 plays is a kick of some kind, and so you have to concentrate on that particular part of the football game.
This program being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Now let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
This is 24 KVUE TV, Austin.
So Texas with a thin 1-point lead, 5 minutes, 29 seconds to go.
Texas was a slight favorite in this game. In fact, they were a 1-point favorite, if you believe what most computers say. And so we've had that kind of a ball game. Just as close, hard-hitting, and exciting as we anticipated.
15-yard penalty on Texas. A kick now off to Texas from the 45-yard line of Texas. Hillman comes up with a football. The Longhorns, after the squib kick, they'll take over an offense at about just inside the 25-yard line. Sensational catch by Manus in the end zone. Brings TCU within a point. We'll see it one more time.
Take one more look at the concentration. First, the hand-eye coordination. His awareness of where he is on the field because he's approaching the sideline. James Lott is all over him, but he still holds on to the ball. That's catch number 5 for 90 yards and 1 touchdown.
Nelson, Terry Orr on the carry. Manus, by the way, now against Texas in 4 games career-wise, 10 catches, 298 yards, an average of just under 30 yards a catch. Some pretty good stats there. 5 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the first half. Texas has not lost 2 straight conference games in 4 seasons. 2nd and 6. Dives, the first man through. Robinson, Ronnie Robinson. Ronnie was the leading rusher for Texas back in '83, 479 yards. Grew up in the shadow of the Cotton Bowl over in Dallas. SMU still has a shot at the conference title. It flipped to the Cotton Bowl. 24-0. SMU over Texas Tech. That's third quarter score. 4 minutes, 18 seconds to go. 3rd and 2 for Texas. 32-yard line. Dodge, keeping, and he is stopped. I don't believe he made the first down. Bill Tomini, David Spradlin are there. The TCU defenders seem to think they've stopped him, and they have.
Watch the blocking on the right side of the line. William Harris, the big tight end, really gets something that springs the back there. Harris has been compared, of course, to Lawrence Sampleton, who played that tight end for Texas.
Telchik rips one to about the 27-yard line, and oh my, ball thrown away on the lateral, and luckily for TCU, the ball is recovered by a TCU player. Wayne Waddy, for some reason, chose to toss the ball backwards. Number 45, that's Chuck Dickinson, and not a very intelligent play.
He's not going to enjoy watching this when Tuesday comes around and he has to see it on film. This is not one of the things that Jim Wacker teaches his players, I'm sure. You don't try to lateral the ball when someone is hanging all over you like that.
Not a very smart play. 3 minutes, 25 seconds to go. Scarafa in the ball game at quarterback. He replaced Anthony Gully. Going long here. That ball intended for James Maness. It's overthrown.
Oh, Scarafa's going to be so unhappy with himself when he sees that one, because he set it up perfectly, sprinted to his right, was trying to get Maness crossing deep to the opposite corner. And had he thrown that ball with a softer looping trajectory and let Maness run under it, he could have had himself a touchdown. As it was, he drilled it, threw the ball with more of a flat, hard trajectory, and it was too deep.
Have you noticed it getting a little colder, Lee?
Definitely.
It's getting crisp, and the rain is coming down. Scarafa fakes to Davis, fakes the option, keeps it himself, gets a yard or two. You know, Scarafa and Gully, Coach Wacker had a comment early in the year. They're so close that if he flipped a coin, they'd probably wind up on its edge. That's how close he feels Scarafa and Gully are.
Even the cheerleaders play with pain here. She knows the difference between pain and injury.
You like to see it. You know what? It's got to be the influence, the fever, the frog fever. Got to be. 3rd and 8. Scarafa wants to throw. Getting some pressure. Scrambling right side. Lets it rip. Incomplete. Tried in the tight end, Gary Ford. Tony Tillman, the man to defend against Ford. Watch it now.
Scarafa moves to his right, tries to set up in the pocket. Now he's going to sprint out to his right, and Ford, the tight end, number 96, a seldom used receiver, is the intended target there. Good coverage in the Texas secondary.
Zach Ford's only had 3 receptions all year long. Gargis gets it off. Low kick. Marshall takes it 35, does some nice maneuvering down almost to the 45-yard line. Austin, Texas. The home of the University of Texas. There's a flag on the play. 41-yard punt, a return of 5. See what this is about. As you might expect, flip against Texas. They'll walk it off against the Horns. Boy, it's getting dark. The rain coming down. So it's way back now to about the 21-yard line.
On the run back, clicking on the receiving team. First down.
See it coming down a little bit on the lens there. Got to be awfully cold down there, and you wonder how that might affect the quarterbacks and their ability to throw the football.
Not only throwing the ball, but sometimes just taking a center snap when your hands get cold and wet can be hazardous.
2:29 to go. First half, 1st and 10. This is Nelson. Slides through the defensive line at TCU. Gary Spann makes the hit.
Gary Spann is one of those undersized linebackers, number 57 right here, who just has a nose for the football, reads well, plays off the blocker, comes back in, and keeps a nice low center of gravity and really positions himself perfectly to make the tackle.
He's been playing all year long with an ankle problem. Playing hurt, just like the cheerleader we saw a little earlier. Another penalty. Once again against the Horns. They got some frog fever despite the cold temperatures and had rain falling down. Tell you what, no matter what happens today, this is a season that will long be remembered in Fort Worth. 1st and now 15. That is Harris in motion. The running backs Orr and Nelson. Fake to Nelson. Dive. Fire. He's got William Harris. 40. Cross midfield. Out of bounds. At the 38-yard line, Billy Jones is there to knock him out for TCU. A long gainer for Texas, 39 yards. Harris, a good one, out of Houston.
This is a picture pass play by Todd Dodge as he waggles or bootlegs out to his left. He's throwing to his tight end, William Harris, number 95, who has the height you like at 6'5". The ball is perfectly thrown. Finally knocked out of bounds there by number 1, Billy Jones, to avert a touchdown. That's all that was left between he and the end zone.
Harris, the number 1 receiver on this club, came in 445 yards on the year, 3 touchdowns. Baker says one of the best big receivers we've ever had. Dive, scrambling, throwing on the run, almost caught on a bounce by Brent Duhan. Incomplete pass. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. 2nd and 10. Halftime activities. Got interviews coming up. Our halftime report, of course, all the scores, highlights, and an interview with one of Lee Groskop's favorite novelists and a favorite of many, Dan Jenkins. Of course, we'll also check in with the Texas and TCU bands.
I'm going to read his new book on the way back, Life Its Own Self, which is a sequel to Semi-Tough.
I heard it's very good. Dodge in trouble, gets away, but finally taken down at about the 44-yard line. Darren Turner. Stops him back there. You can see the clock ticking down. 10-9. Texas a point ahead. Sets up a 3rd and 14 for Texas. The one thing Texas has is that weapon of Ward, who can hit it from just about anywhere. Austin, Texas, beautiful campus. Let's check in now and get a report on the University of Texas.
At the University of Texas at Austin, there is intellectual excitement and a sense of great enterprise. There is a shared conviction that what we are doing is important to the future of our society, and that in this decade, Texas is the place to be.
To be a part of the bright now diamond called the University of Texas was an allure I could not resist.
Texas, a great productive land with a rich history and sense of the future. Christian, an ecumenical concern for the world around us. University, a major teaching and research institution with the personal atmosphere of a small college. Texas Christian University. For information about financial aid, continuing education, or a calendar of events, call 921-7810.
The rain is really coming down. 3rd and 14. Texas the ball on the 43-yard line. This is Dodge. Look out. He is down. Gets it off, but he is tackled behind the line. Paul Jones brings him down. The 2nd sack in this series. And Texas will not be able to go from the field goal because Dodge is way back at his own 48, 49-yard line. Telchik has got his shoe on here. Perhaps in the rain, he's worried about the ball slipping off his skin on his foot. See what he does. From the 40, his own 40, low kick. TCU going to let it bounce inside the 10 where Texas downs the football. 46 seconds to go. The Horned Frogs will get the football back. A 42-yard punt. As you can see, talk about prepared. We're ready for anything. And as Joe Sapienza, he's got the gear on. He's ready to go. And the rain is coming down here late in the second quarter. Monday Night Football, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. They got the Steelers and the Saints. Saints with a record of 5-6, third place in the NFC West. Of course, two of the all-time great running backs in the NFL, guys like Earl Campbell and George Rogers, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their record 6-5, trying to hold on to a lead in their AFC Central Division. Couple yards. I wouldn't think TCU will try anything too dangerous deep in their own territory here at about the 12-yard line.
Absolutely not. I think they're going to be happy to just go regroup, go in at halftime, trailing by 1 point, and figuring that they are a big play team. They have been a good second half team. Nothing to worry about, really. One thing they want to do here is avoid mistakes.
This is Davis, left side, 15, 20, tackle at about the 22, 23-yard line. 5 seconds to go here in the first half.
It's amazing that a man this size, we're talking about Tony DeGreat, number 99, can be that quick. Did you see how quick he was in the backfield there? No wonder pro scouts say at 6'4", 280 pounds, that he's almost certain to be a first-round draft pick.
And that will do it for the first half. Time is out. 10-9. Texas leads. We'll be back with today's halftime. $10-9 to score. And before we throw it to our halftime activities, let's check in with Lynn Swan.
Okay, I'm here with the head coach for Texas, Fred Akers. Coach, stopping the running game was in the first half has been what your defense is all about. Was it your intention to stop them, force them to run inside?
Well, we were trying to, and we gave up that one big pitch outside, and we had a man there, just didn't play it well enough, and he got out around him. And we can't let that happen. We can put up with the small gains, but we can't let them have them in chunks.
What success they did have in the first half came in the air. If they continue to throw the football, you're playing man-to-man coverage. Will you blitz, stun a little bit more to put pressure on the passing game?
Well, we should have had double coverage on a couple of those that didn't. And we're going to have to get that straightened out. But we know they can throw the football, just like we know we can. And we're going to have to do a better job of that, too.
Okay, is it really a battle with DeGreat on the line and what he can do? They seem to be not having a good time or be able to handle him at all on the line.
Well, Tony's a great football player. If they just put one man on him, they're going to have a time of it.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. Well, the score is still 9-10 with Texas out in front with a 1-point lead. We'll be back with halftime activities.
Great. The guy we've been talking about all day long. Bill Hefcock, defensive tackle out of Garland, Texas. Thomas Aldridge, defensive end. He's a sophomore. Ty Allert, linebacker from Houston. Britt Hager, a freshman from Odessa, Texas. And June James, excellent linebacker out of Kansas City, Missouri. Hager replacing the injured Tony Edwards, unable to play very much today. Cracked ribs. Scarafa giving off to Tony Jeffrey, their freshman running back. Gets 3 or 4. Texas defensive secondary. James Lott, a cornerback, also a great high jumper. Goes 7'5½". They got Tony Tillman, a cornerback. Stephen Bragg, strong safety. He's out of Houston, Texas, number 4 tackler on this club. And Jerry Gray, of course, a definite first-round pick in the NFL draft next year, and he will undoubtedly be a two-time All-American before his career is done here at the University of Texas. To give that time to Kenneth Davis. Gets a couple. And the rain is still coming down. TCU offense as we begin the second half. Gully is not your quarterback at the moment. It is Scarafa. Kenneth Davis, tailback. Tony Jeffrey is your fullback. Manus and Sharp, the receivers. Ford, Page, Young, Flynn, Tommy Sheehan, and James Benson, your offensive line. 3rd and 5. Ball at 20-yard line. Scarafa, number 10. Quick throw. It is caught. James Manus. Kid is amazing. That time caught it, looked like, on his behind there. First down, TCU. Check it out.
Scaraffa, waggle, he fakes one way, rolls the other. Quick out pattern by Manus, number 88. That is catch number 6 on the day. He had 5 receptions for 90 yards and 1 touchdown in the first half. So James Manus, who has had like a career against Texas, continues to be effective as a wide receiver.
This will be his 10th 100-yard day receiving in his career. Going long. Oh, underthrown. Scaraffa going after Keith Burnett. Another yard or two, that ball would have belonged to Tony Griffin in the University of Texas.
Scaraffa shouldn't have thrown that ball. He was on the dead run to his left. He's off balance. He's under pressure, and he underthrows the ball as a result of that. Tony Griffin, number 16, actually was in position there to come back and make an interception. I think the wet field may have had something to do with that.
Could be. 6 of 8 for Anthony and 80 yards last week against Texas Tech. Fumble again, and Scaraffa hops on the football, trying to hand it off to Tony Jeffrey. Scaraffa feels fortunate, I think, to get that football back that time. Set up a 3rd and 11.
Scaraffa may be a little bit tense here opening the second half. Remember, he did not start the game. He came on in the second quarter. That is part 2. It was going to be part 2 of the triple option play. He put the ball in the belly of the first back and was coming down the line, but he never got the ball back. Remember, the triple option is a high-risk offense at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 11, nothing doing. Scaraffa taken down by Tony to great, big number 99. Talk about great defensive tackles, Lee. You know, I mean, Texas has had some great ones over the years. Guys like, Brad Shear, Bam Bam, or Steve Bam Bam McMichael, Kenneth Sims, Doug English played, of course, University of Texas. Guy fits right in that mold.
Tradition of defensive linemen and also defensive backs. We'll talk more about that.
Gargis punted away on the 4th and 11, and an incredible punt back to about the 21. Morshall trying to find some room, and he is taken down at the 28-yard line. 12:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. Texas on offense. They lead it by a score of 10-9. Back in a moment.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't have pinstripes and rock and roll? Who says you can't taste life without it taking its toll? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Michelob Light. Super premium taste in a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
Say goodbye to America's favorite can of motor oil. That Quaker State quality America has trusted for over 70 years now comes exclusively in this unique, easy-to-pour plastic bottle.
So long, spouts.
See you, dirty hands.
Goodbye, oily rags.
No more leaky cans.
Get Quaker State's pen-grade protection and no mess, easy to open, pour, and reseal. Today, you need an oil this good in a package this good.
Get the whole story with Howard Cosell on the only regularly scheduled sports journalism series on network television. A candid look at the issues and figures behind the headlines. The Emmy Award-winning ABC Sports Beat.
University of Texas Longhorns, they've won the Southwest Conference Championship 22 times, been to the Cotton Bowl on 18 occasions. Their last opportunity at the Cotton Bowl came last January against the University of Georgia and lost in the final minutes by a score of 10-9. Had they won that game, they would have captured their 4th national championship undoubtedly. Simmons pulls it up for a couple. TCU defense, Kevin Dean, Bill Tomedy, defensive tackle out of Houston. Kent Trammell, tough kid, nose guard. L.B. Washington. David Spradlin out of Seminole, Texas, a sophomore. 2nd and 5. 33-yard line. Simmons Again, 2 or 3 more yards, up fairly close to the first down. Gerald Taylor at linebacker. Andy Pitts out of Alvarado, Texas, a sophomore, is in there as well. Sean Thomas picked one off in the first half. Garland Little, the cornerback, he's a freshman. And Byron Linwood, tough hitter, big hitter. Billy Jones, a free safety, Baytown, Texas. Byron Linwood came into the game with over 100 tackles. 3rd and 1. Texas trying to drive it a little bit. Dodge fools everybody, puts it up. He's got a man. That is Terry Orr, and he may go all the way. 10, 1, touchdown, Texas. Big play, 3rd and 1. Dodge fakes the handoff over the top to Terry Orr, 63 yards, and Texas jumps out to a 16-9 lead.
That, to me, is a great call on 3rd and 1. I've always liked that opportunity because you get everybody bunched up, everybody pulled in together, looking for that drive-off tackle. You go play-action pass, you sneak a man down there, a swift back like Terry Orr, and there's nobody home in the secondary.
First touchdown reception of the year for Terry Orr on the day. The second touchdown toss for Todd Dodge, and it's now a 17-9 game. Terry Orr, 6'3", 227 senior out of Abilene.
Watch how Terry Orr sneaks downfield after the fake to the tailback. The defense is spread, and there's nobody home in the secondary. Now it's just a foot race to the end zone. He has to outrun Garland Littles, and he does.
60.
ounce of this lead.
Mitchell looks for his 8th point. That was a big bucket. Makes it a 3-point game. Tyrus Thomas going to try it again. Lazar out. 3-possession game now for Texas. We'll need the 3-point plays.
LSU doesn't want to foul now. Well, you got to guard that 3-point line and challenge a shot, but they cannot allow any fouls.
Abrams to Buckman is off with a 3. Rebound. Thomas foul. Either Buckman or Aldridge. They were both reaching in. Resigned look from Rick Barnes. As we remind you again, the Bruins and the Tigers, UCLA and Memphis, looking for their ticket to the Final Four as they play out in Oakland. 10 after 7 Eastern time, the start of that game. We're closing in on 7 o'clock here in the East as Tyrus Thomas, one of the superstars of this tournament. Ian Davis will fight for the MVP, but unable to hit the free throw. Clock runs. 45 seconds to go. Abrams
got to get it up quickly.
Almost banked in. A one-handed rebound by Tasman Mitchell and the immediate foul by Texas.
You know, Dick, they say that college basketball is a guards game and you've got to have guards to win. But LSU is advancing because of their front court. Their big guys have just dominated this game start to finish.
That look of John Brady almost swallowing a smile as if to say, I can't believe these young kids of mine. They have just been terrific, and they're so close. They just like a family. And Brady says sometimes I have no control. They just take care of things themselves, and they said that in a good way, that they just monitor each other. They have so much passion for one another.
Well, they were hardly tight yesterday. This is one loose group that has an awful lot of fun together, and it's easy to have fun when you're winning, but this team really works hard and works hard together.
Double bonus, and Tasman Mitchell hits that free throw, and a 9-point lead. What's amazing about these Tigers, it was late in the game that they took Duke apart when the Devils had taken a 5-point lead in that second half. And there's the 3 as P.J. Tucker goes outside to bang home a tray. 24.6 seconds left.
Plus, their guard play is so much stronger. They can basically go 9 people deep and not lose anything.
Yeah, and the other guys are like starting maybe 6-man?
Right.
Maybe
if
6-man.
Right. Rejected! Don't you bring that weak tot action. You go strong to your mouth or you don't go at all.
Game day food. Nothing goes better with basketball than Sonic's chili cheese tots. Great for pre-game, post-game, pre-post-game, and post-post-game game. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Official U.S. PlayStation Magazine raves, best driving sim ever, bar none. Yahoo Video Game says one of the most spectacular action titles to grace the PS2. Motor Trend writes most realistic driving simulation game on the market. And Stephen Chow of Baker, California says at just $19.99, I'll actually have money left over for deodorant. Man, is that gross. PlayStation 2's latest greatest hits, rated E through M, Gran Turismo 4 and God of War, now $19.99.
Today's Chevrolet players of the game, Tyrus Thomas a double-double, 21 points, and Brad Buckman double-double as well, 13 and 14 for the Longhorns. Well, LSU knows it's going to be at the free throw line, and how quickly you can counter with the threes. They need to make their free throws and have not been that sharp at the charity. 7 for 12 in the game. In the Big Baby, and the foul quickly, only a second used, and Davis will walk to the other end. 5 for 8 in overtime from the charity. Davis, the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year as a sophomore, after being Freshman of the Year a season ago. He's got so much moxie, and Bob Pettit, the great All-American, looking at this young star of the Tigers today with great appreciation.
Well, this if they can hang on. This might have been unexpected to an awful lot of people, but I think there have been some expectations among these LSU players that they were good enough to get to the Final Four. They believe.
Davis, who chipped in a 3-point shot. He's made only 6 all season under the pressure of this overtime. Ball knocked aside. 15 seconds left. Action continues here on CBS. The regional finals from Oakland. It'll be the Bruins and the Tigers of Memphis. 1 and 2 seeds. Turn over to LSU on a bad pass by the Longhorns.
But how about LSU, Dick? Staying aggressive, not taking anything for granted, still going after it. And Ken Paulino with the foul. Now Daryl Mitchell gets to walk to the free throw line, put another couple of points in his column.
John Brady, like so many coaches today, his roots in a small college program, Bellhaven, in the NAIA in Jackson, Mississippi, where he scored over 1,000 points as a guard. And Rick Barnes, also from a small school, Lenoir-Rhyne at Hickory, North Carolina. Daryl Mitchell, the only real long-term experience on this LSU roster, the senior. All the rest of the kids that play are freshmen and sophomores.
And he's been unflappable. He's hit big shot after big shot all season long. Had game winners. He had a game winner against Arkansas early in the season against West Virginia, and then of course that huge game winner in the second round against Texas A&M.
That's how close it's been. A&M is that shot away from their chance to advance. Well, it's time running out on the Longhorns. They'll battle to the end, but a miracle shot by Tucker won't go down. Back out with 3 seconds. Tucker will take another. He misses. And get ready, Indianapolis. Big Baby and Brady's bunch are coming to the Final Four. In overtime, 70-60, the young Tigers knock out the Longhorns. Another overtime game, and LSU prevails. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York after this message.
Don't miss CSI, Thursdays on CBS, America's most watched network.
It's March Mayhem, and Papa Murphy's is rockin'. Loaded with only the freshest ingredients, our pizzas are sure to be a slam dunk. Grab it on your way home. Then cheer on the Huskies, Bulldogs, and all your favorite teams with Papa Murphy's Take and Bake. It's a winning team.
At what point does the line between the expected and the unexpected begin to blur? The all-new 2007 Camry, now arriving at your local dealer during Toyota's premier event.
Well, for me, it's simple. I just go to the spot that hooks me up. See, if I try to return a movie even a little late at other video stores, they want to charge me like full rental price. Again, you know, but at Blockbuster, they don't. So, I mean, you do the math. Pay twice or don't.
Blockbuster makes renting better than ever. And with more copies than ever, get the movies you want and the time to enjoy them. See participating stores for complete details.
This is Wes, who not only is the proud holder of a Banner Bank savings account, he's also getting ready for the Pendleton Roundup, who is also a Banner Bank customer. Now, quite a few of the people who participate in the Roundup get their duds from Red's Clothing Company, one more Banner customer. And they frequent Big John's Pizza, where our friend Wes believes they make a darn good pizza. It just goes to prove that we're all in some way connected to the same bank.
It's March Mayhem, and Papa Murphy's is rockin'. Loaded with only the freshest ingredients, our pizzas are sure to be a slam dunk. Grab it on your way home. Then cheer on the Huskies, Bulldogs, and all your favorite teams with Papa Murphy's Take and Bake. It's a winning team.
KIRO TV, Channel 7, Seattle.
Welcome back, everyone, to our studios here in New York on the road to the Final Four, powered by Pontiac. In overtime, LSU a winner. Now, remind you that coming up next here on CBS.
Still 9-10 with Texas out in front with a 1-point lead. We'll be back with halftime activities.
Great. A guy we've been talking about all day long. Bill Hefcock, defensive tackle out of Garland, Texas. Thomas Aldridge, defensive end. He's a sophomore. Ty Allert, linebacker from Houston. Britt Hager, a freshman from Odessa, Texas. And June James, excellent linebacker out of Kansas City, Missouri. Hager replacing the injured Tony Edwards, unable to play very much today. Cracked ribs. Scaraffa giving off to Tony Jeffrey, the freshman running back. Gets 3 or 4. Texas defensive secondary. James Lott, a cornerback, also a great high jumper. Goes 7'5 and a half. They got Tony Tillman, a cornerback. Stephen Bragg, strong safety. He's out of Houston, Texas, number 4 tackler on this club. And Jerry Gray, of course, a definite first-round pick in the NFL draft next year, and he will undoubtedly be a 2-time All-American before his career is done here at the University of Texas. To give that time to Kenneth Davis. Gets a couple. That rain is still coming down. TCU offense as we begin the second half. Gully is not your quarterback at the moment. It is Scaraffa. Kenneth Davis, tailback. Tony Jeffrey is your fullback. Manus and Sharp, the receivers. Ford, Page, Young, Flynn, Tommy Sheehan, and James Benson, your offensive line. 3rd and 5. Ball at 20-yard line. Scaraffa, number 10. Quick throw. It is caught. James Manus. Kid is amazing that time. Caught it, looked like, on his behind there. First down, TCU. Check it out.
Scaraffa, waggle. He fakes one way, rolls the other. Quick out pattern by Manus, number 88. That is catch number 6 on the day. He had 5 receptions for 90 yards and 1 touchdown in the first half. So James Manus, who has had like a career against Texas, continues to be effective as a wide receiver.
This will be his 10th 100-yard day receiving in his career. Going long. Oh, underthrown. Scaraffa going after Keith Burnett. Another yard or 2. That ball would have belonged to Tony Griffin in the University of Texas.
Scaraffa shouldn't have thrown that ball. He was on the dead run to his left. He's off balance. He's under pressure, and he underthrows the ball as a result of that. Tony Griffin, number 16, actually was in position there to come back and make an interception. I think the wet field may have had something to do with that.
Could be. 6 of 8 for Anthony and 80 yards last week against Texas Tech. Fumble again, and Scaraffa hops on the football, trying to hand it off to Tony Jeffrey. Scaraffa feels fortunate, I think, to get that football back that time. Set up a 3rd and 11.
Scaraffa may be a little bit tense here opening the second half. Remember, he did not start the game. He came on in the second quarter. That is part 2. It was going to be part 2 of the triple option play. He put the ball in the belly of the first back and was coming down the line, but he never got the ball back. Remember, the triple option is a high-risk offense at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 11, nothing doing. Scaraffa taken down by Tony DeGreat, big number 99. Talk about great defensive tackles, Lee. You know, I mean, Texas has had some great ones over the years. Guys like, Brad Shear, Bam Bam, or Steve Bam Bam McMichael, Kenneth Sims, Doug English played, of course, University of Texas. Guy fits right in that mold.
Tradition of defensive linemen and also defensive backs. We'll talk more about that.
Gargis punted away on the 4th and 11, and an incredible punt back to about the 21. Morshall trying to find some room, and he is taken down at the 28-yard line. 12:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. Texas on offense. They lead it by a score of 10-9. Back in a moment.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't have pinstripes and rock and roll? Who says you can't taste life without it taking its toll? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh,
Michelob Light. Super premium taste in a less filling beer.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can have it all.
Say goodbye to America's favorite can of motor oil. That Quaker State quality America has trusted for over 70 years now comes exclusively in this unique, easy-to-pour plastic bottle.
So long, spouts. See you, dirty hands.
Goodbye, oily rags.
No more leaky cans.
Get Quaker State's pen-grade protection and no mess, easy to open, pour, and reseal. Today, you need an oil this good in a package this good.
Get the whole story with Howard Cosell on the only regularly scheduled sports journalism series on network television. A candid look at the issues and figures behind the headlines. The Emmy Award-winning ABC Sports Beat.
University of Texas Longhorns, they've won the Southwest Conference Championship 22 times, been to the Cotton Bowl on 18 occasions. Their last opportunity at the Cotton Bowl came last January against the University of Georgia and lost in the final minutes by a score of 10-9. Had they won that game, they would have captured their 4th national championship undoubtedly. Simmons pulls it up for a couple. TCU defense, Kevin Dean, Bill Tomedy, defensive tackle out of Houston. Kent Trammell, tough kid, nose guard. L.B. Washington. David Spradlin out of Seminole, Texas, a sophomore. 2nd and 5. 33-yard line. Simmons. Again, 2 or 3 more yards, up fairly close to the first down. Gerald Taylor at linebacker. Andy Pitts out of Alvarado, Texas, a sophomore, is in there as well. Sean Thomas picked one off in the first half. Garland Little, your cornerback, he's a freshman. And Byron Linwood, tough hitter, big hitter. Billy Jones, a free safety, Baytown, Texas. Byron Linwood came into the game with over 100 tackles. 3rd and 1. Texas trying to drive it a little bit. Dodge fools everybody, puts it up. He's got a man. That is Terry Orr, and he may go all the way. 10, 1, touchdown, Texas. Big play, 3rd and 1. Dodge fakes the handoff over the top to Terry Orr, 63 yards, and Texas jumps out to a 16-9 lead.
That, to me, is a great call on 3rd and 1. I've always liked that opportunity because you get everybody bunched up, everybody pulled in together, looking for that drive-off tackle. You go play-action pass, you sneak a man down there, a swift back like Terry Orr, and there's nobody home in the secondary.
First touchdown reception of the year for Terry Orr on the day. The 2nd touchdown toss for Todd Dodge, and it's now a 17-9 game. Terry Orr, 6'3", 227 senior out of Abilene.
Watch how Terry Orr sneaks downfield after the fake to the tailback. The defense is spread, and there's nobody home in the secondary. Now it's just a foot race to the end zone. He has to outrun Garland Littles, and he does.
63 yards. Dodge to Orr. The Longhorns lead 17-9.
Well, moms and dads the world around give their kids the same old sound. Got to go to school, be a big success. They wouldn't settle for anything less. Now they've learned whatever you seek, you'll help yourself to reach your peak in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Need a trade? Looking for a skill? They have hundreds to fit the bill in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Want more school? Don't have the bread. They'll help pay to get you ahead. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Mom and dad, they'll want to shout. He's made it big. There's no doubt. Thanks, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Tough on the job, easy on the buck. Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Rugged, massive girder beam front suspension. Tough double wall construction in critical areas. And new Vortec V6 power. A hard day's work goes easier when you have a truck with the built-in tough of a Chevy.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
On Monday Night Football,
hunting for another championship season. The division-leading Pittsburgh Steelers collide with a hungry Saints squad. Live at 9 Eastern on ABC.
Jim Lampley in New York. You are about to look at what many people in the Southeastern Conference must have regarded as their worst possible nightmare this weekend. Artie Cosby of Mississippi State kicked this field goal with less than 2 minutes to go from 27 yards out, giving Mississippi State a win over LSU. And what that means for the Southeastern Conference and the Sugar Bowl is that Florida has won the conference title outright. Corey?
Big news. Here it's a 17-9 ball game, 10:44 to go here in the third quarter. Interesting story. Terry Orr, the team's #1 rusher, 358 yards and 4 touchdowns. Good overall player. And a great Texas high schooler, Scott Ankrum, pounding out over the 20-yard line. So TCU on offense, 21-yard line. They trail by 8 points. They're a great third quarter team. They've outscored the opposition in the third period, 83-16. Fires it off to Davis, 25-yard line. Tackled by Jerry Gray. Very close to first down yardage for Davis. Scoring drive, 3 plays. Not a very long drive, obviously. The key one, Dodge to Orr, 63 yards for the score. Scaraffa fumbled. Jeffrey again can't handle the ball, and I believe Texas has recovered. They have for Jeffrey, his 3rd fumble on the afternoon. Wow. Flag on the play down at about the 38-yard line.
Jeffrey on the straight dive. This is part 1 of the option. He's looking downfield instead of covering the ball. Tony Edwards, number 63, gets a great lick there for Texas. And once again, the great safety man, Jerry Gray, number 2, comes in and covers the football.
Uh-oh. Against the University of Texas. Wait and see exactly what they're going to do here. Boy, turnover is a big part of this ball game. A dead ball foul set up a 1st and 25 situation.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense. It'll be 1st and 25.
1st and 25, unsportsmanlike conduct. Texas with the football again. Boy, Tony Jeffrey, a tough afternoon.
Remember, he's young. He's a redshirt freshman. And this is one of the first big games of his life. Texas is more used to the big game than TCU. Let's talk more about that.
This time, Simmons right side gets 4 or 5 yards before he's tackled at about the 34-yard line, or I should say the 45-yard line.
I think you touched on it, and I think Lynn Swan, our colleague, started to get into this too, is that Texas just kind of let the hype roll by this week. You know, it was another week of practice for them, whereas TCU may have gotten caught up in all this hype, particularly here since it was a home game.
It's Kent Trammell, the nose guard, walking up. He's shaken up a little bit. He and the Frogs trail right now 17-9. Back with more in a moment.
When you take one of these things up, you've got a crew to help.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
When it comes to my car and truck, I do the work myself. In 40 years, AC spark plugs have never let me down. And with today's technology, AC fire ring spark plugs are engineered to give you up to 30,000 miles of reliable performance. Never wait for trouble. Go with AC fire ring spark plugs.
Call 800 AC Delco for a retailer near you.
Gifts of gold or silver coins have almost always increased in value. Some of the silver dollars Grandma handed out are worth hundreds today. And a $10 gold piece given back in '32 could be worth thousands now. For the first time, you can give Olympic gold and silver U.S. coins. And although no one knows what Olympic coins will be worth tomorrow, they make a gift that will be cherished this holiday and for generations to come. Available at many locations, or call this number toll-free for information.
Some people call that man the greatest quarterback of all time. Sammy is 70 years old now, and he's watching the game from his West Texas home, we are told. Want to wish him well.
Slinging Sammy. Right now, his Horned Frogs trail by a score of 17-9. 9 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Second and 17. Dodd's going to run. 40-yard line. 30. Look at him go. 20. Cuts back. 10-yard line where he's taken down. What a run. Todd Dodd. Sean Thomas makes a stop way back at the TCU 10-yard line. Great play.
From this angle, you can really see the quick feet of number 13, Todd Dodge, and this is one of the things that he does so effectively. He's really a competitor. He doesn't have great speed, but he has quick feet, good running instincts. He's a very resourceful quarterback, a good competitor who has come back today, and we said this at the top of the show. We felt it would be one of the keys is that he would come back and establish his confidence after the 5-interception game of a week ago against Houston. 37 yards on that run.
And look at his rushing stats for the year. He helped himself big with that run. Boom, big hit. Simmons going nowhere. Right side of the TCU defensive line comes up with a good play there. No gain. 2nd and 10.
They're giving the ball to Edwin Simmons quite a bit here in the second half, and that might be one of the things that typify the Texas offense here in the second half. You remember that Simmons made his comeback last week after being out of contact for a year and a half. He's just getting used to being hit again.
In fact, he did not practice at all this week. Practiced only once in the last 2 weeks, as a matter of fact. Simmons trying to go around the right side, gets through, 5-yard line, touchdown, Edwin Simmons. It looked as if TCU's defense had smelled out the play that Simmons would have a rough time making it back to the line of scrimmage, but he cuts it back in a hurry and scores the touchdown to make it 23-9.
Exactly what we were just talking about. Edwin Simmons finding himself again. Almost slipped there before making the cut, but regains his balance, and you see why he's such a tremendous athlete. 6'4", 230 pounds with 4.4 speed in the 40-yard dash.
So very quickly, the Horns are taking control of this ball game. However, the extra point attempt, Jeff Ward, no good, wide left. The second extra point miss we've seen today. TCU missed one earlier.
From another angle, you can see Gary Spann get taken out on the play, and that sets up the cutback there by Edwin Simmons, number 33, as he heads on into the end zone.
And for Jeff Ward, that is the first time in his entire career he has missed an extra point. 23-9 the score.
In this uncertain and bewildering world of personal computers, the Tandy 2000 stands apart. In power, speed, and graphics, the Tandy 2000 is clearly superior. For service, support, and software, Tandy is clearly superior. Available exclusively at Radio Shack Computer Centers. Compare. You too will immediately recognize Tandy technology, service, and support are clearly superior.
America, America's driving, driving over. America's driving to Firestone.
Firestone's Drive Over Sale. Save up to 30% on tires, MasterCare service, batteries. Save on every size 721 steel belted radio from only $29.95. Plus, save on MasterCare awarded service, tune-ups, shocks, batteries, and more. Firestone's Drive Over Sale at Firestone now.
Firestone.
Big 8 excitement on CFA college football. If 6th-ranked Oklahoma beats Nebraska today, they'll face number 4 Oklahoma State for a coveted Orange Bowl berth. Next Saturday live at 3:30 Eastern.
Jim Lampley again in New York. More news from Florida's victory over Kentucky. In the locker room after the game, University of Florida President Marshall Chrysler announced that Galen Hall will be hired as the permanent head coach of the Gators. So far, he's 7-0 as a head coach. Next step for Florida, Tuesday's Southeastern Conference Executive Committee meeting to consider, among other things, whether they should be banned from the Sugar Bowl. Back to you, Corey.
Regardless of that decision, what a job by Galen Hall. Here, Fort Worth, Texas, 23-9 your score. You're looking at Edwin Simmons. 67-yard run against Oklahoma last October 13. The last time he hit pay dirt. It's been a long time coming, but Edwin Simmons has come back, and his team has a 23-9 lead. Scott Ankrum out of the end zone, bringing it up, and he's not going to make it back to the 20, tackled at the 17-yard line. A 14-point deficit to overcome for TCU. But if you recall, the Arkansas-TCU game, the Frogs trailed 31-17 with just 10 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in that game, but came back to win that game in the final seconds, 32-31. They've got an offense that can do it. 8:09 left third quarter. Scaraffa wants to go up top, throwing on the run, incomplete. Not sure who that was intended for, perhaps Kenneth Davis. Let's check in now with Lynn Swan on the sidelines. Lynn, what's happening?
Corey, the sideline here on the TCU sideline is a little quiet. Quiet doesn't mean that you're out of it. They've been behind in 5 of the ball games that they came back and they won. In the first half, they were only inches away from a few passes that could have gone for a big play and a touchdown. A Wacker team is an emotional football team. They're still in this ball game, only down by 2 touchdowns. I think they'll be fighting for their lives and they can't come back.
He may be right. 2nd and 10. Scaraffa putting it up again. Quick pass, incomplete. James Maness once again should have had that football lead.
That is the 2nd time today that James Maness has lost his concentration on a sideline pass. He's come up with some big plays, but he's dropped 2 easy ones.
Really has. Oklahoma, Nebraska, a lot of folks looking at that ball game. 7-7 third quarter. Mississippi State is upset Louisiana State University, giving Florida the outright SEC title. UCLA 19-3 over USC. SMU 31-0 over Texas Tech. SMU goes to 5-2 in the conference. Rice leads Baylor in the final quarter. Scaraffa firing, caught. Great play. Dan Sharp. Dan Sharp perhaps has the best set of hands of any receiver in the Southwest Conference. Showed himself there. Clutch play.
That's exactly right. Number 80, the flex in, Dan Sharp, is a sure-handed and also an excellent blocking flex in. Look at that, between 2 defenders right there. Jerry Gray, one of them, and Stephen Braggs, the other. He doesn't break his concentration, pulls the ball down, and goes forward for 5 more yards.
First down for TCU. Scaraffa again. Flips it out over the head of Maness at about midfield. Didn't look like he had a good ball there. Flew up a little bit on him.
Didn't have the grip right. You're exactly right. This is a telling statistic. We had a close football game, but Texas has scored 14 points in a total of 3 minutes and 7 seconds on their last 2 possessions. That's amazing.
That is quick. Arkansas and SMU both victorious today. That's why they have 5-2 records. Texas trying to go to 5-1. TCU to 6-1. Caught. 40-yard line. Sharp again. About 3 yards shy of the first down marker. Sets up about 3rd and 3. Got 7 minutes, 15 seconds to go. TCU trailing by 14 points.
Dan is razor sharp. 3 receptions now for 60 yards.
Southwest Conference leader in touchdown receptions, 2 with 6. Big 3rd down play. Scaraffa. He's going to run, and he's not going to make it. June James knocks him out at about the 41-yard line. And the punting team will come on the field for TCU. Still got some time. The Texas fans here applauding their defense. as well they should. Gargis, 43.6 average today. Bacon. First down yardage, TCU across the 45-yard line. That is Scott Bednarski. Backup running back. Wow, big play. Wacker comes up with the fake punt. Bednarski takes it. We'll see it again.
Scott Bednarski, number 9. Great fake punt here. He's the up back, and he goes off the left side. His father is the famous wrestler, Ivan Putski. And
Ivan
he's a
the
wire
Terrible.
man.
Yeah.
Ivan the Terrible. That's right.
And Bednarski is one of the strongest guys in this team. Bench presses 400 pounds. Got great speed, 4.5. First and 10. The fake. Pump. Scaraffa tackled from behind by Thomas Aldridge. Gets up past the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard on the play. This program is being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Now let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
Action News follows the game on 24 KVUE TV, Austin.
All right, 2nd and 8 for TCU. The give. This is Kenneth Davis. Look at him go across the 40-yard line. Finally corralled at the 33-yard line. Gray and Griffin combined to bring the big guy down. Kenneth Davis, the number 2 rusher in college football today.
The key to this play is the surge of the left side of the line on part 1 of the dive play, the triple option. Look at the moves there by number 36, Kenneth Davis, and you see why he's so highly regarded. Will probably be an All-American and a possible Heisman candidate in 1985.
No question about it. A 15-yard gain. 1st and 10 all kinds of times. Scaraffa up top. It is tipped. Incomplete. Again, it is Jerry Gray. This guy is everywhere. Number 2 for the University of Texas. What a valuable guy he is to have back.
James Manus told me yesterday this was his favorite pass cut. It's a deep post pattern. James Lott is the man on the coverage here. But Jerry Gray, number 2, comes along, and with his left hand that you just barely saw coming into the screen, swats the ball away. Gil Brandt, who is the director of player personnel for the Dallas Cowboys, visited with us before the game today, and he said that this is the best defensive back in the United States. He said the last time a defensive back was the first player chosen goes all the way back to the 50s when it was Gary Glick. But he said that because there's some great offensive linemen, he may not be the first player chosen, but he will be the first defensive back chosen in next year's pro draft.
In fact, he may go in the top 5, which would be quite an accomplishment for a defensive back. That is big James Benson, 6'4", 270-pound senior, the only non-Texan on the TCU offensive alignment.
And speaking of great defensive backs, this is part of the tradition of Texas Longhorn defensive backs. Claiborne, Lockwood, Johnson, you see there, Acorn, Mosi Cade, to name a few.
Again, this time Scaraffa hit behind the line. Jim Moore grabs him there, wrestles him to the turf, going to set up a 3rd and 10. Scaraffa never really had a chance on that play.
The loss of James Benson, who we saw limping off there, may be important. He was considered their best and most consistent offensive lineman.
It's that offensive line that's shown the most improvement the past season or 2. The weight program Jim Wacker has instituted gained something like 25 pounds a man and beat Ed Laswell in the game for Benson. 3rd and 13. Look out. Scaraffa is down. Thomas Aldridge tackles him. A loss of 3 more yards on the play. Sets up a 4th and 13. Big defensive play by Aldridge.
This gives you a look at what it's really like for a quarterback in the triple option as he fakes first, starts to go back to pass, and now he's sandwiched right there. The first man in is Thomas Aldridge, number 97, the defensive end for the Horns.
All right, big punt. Gargis is there. What he wants to do is nail it inside the 10 if he can. Coming near side, going for the corner. It is down inside the 10 and down perfectly there by number 45 from TCU. That is Chuck Dickinson, special teams performer. So Texas will take over at the 10-yard line. A punt of 29 yards. Next Saturday here on ABC Sports, CFA college football. You got number 4 Oklahoma State against number 6 Oklahoma. Texas leads this series. They've always dominated. 60 wins, 12 losses, and 6 ties. Oklahoma State with a good shot to win this week. Oklahoma leading Nebraska right now. That's a fourth quarter score. They have a field goal lead in that contest. Oklahoma State has already won their ball game 16-10 decision over Iowa State. OSU and Oklahoma next week on ABC. 1st and 10 for Texas. They give this time to Terry Orr, who pushes it up to about the 14-yard line. You see the clock. 4 minutes, 25 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 23-9 ball game. Longhorns in front. Texas with 2 games remaining after today. At Baylor and then home to Texas A&M. 2nd and 5. Simmons powering for 2 or 3.
To those of you who may be joining us late, we had a 10-9 football game here at halftime, but in the third quarter, Texas struck very suddenly. They scored twice in just over 3 minutes with some big plays. And now they're in charge of this game.
They really are. 16, though, of the points Texas has scored today can be directly attributable to TCU mistakes. 3rd and 2. TCU would like to stop Todd Dodge and the Horns right here. Some movement. You saw the contact. Flags everywhere. Illegal procedure against Texas. Watch it.
The right tackle for Texas is going to be called for encroachment, I believe, Corey.
That ball start. Offense. Still 3rd down.
3rd and 7. Not quite like 3rd and 2. So a big mistake. Remaining games, you'll see them Friday, November 23rd, Arkansas and SMU, the 24th, Texas, Baylor, TCU, Texas A&M, Houston, Texas Tech, Rice, Houston, A&M, and Texas as well. Simmons loses the football. TCU recovers. Wow. The football, and Gerald Taylor recovers.
Edwin Simmons, number 33, taking the blast play up into the center of the line. Number 57, Gary Spahn, gets the first hit. And Gerald Taylor, number 37, is the man who covers the ball for the Frogs. That is the biggest break of the day for the Horned Frogs. Another look, and you see the ball squirting loose right there.
Big play. 1st and 8 for TCU. Look out. 1st and goal. The throw there. Caught by Tony Jeffrey, but it's actually going to be a loss of maybe a yard or 2 on the play. And there you see number 97, Kevin Dean.
AKA Psycho.
Psycho, exactly right. He gets into it.
His cousin is Ernie Holmes.
That's right. The boxer. 23-9. TCU has got to take advantage of the Texas miscue. 2nd and 11. Loss on that last play. Scaraffa. Left side. He's got Davis in front of him. Will he throw it? Yes, and it is caught. Touchdown. Texas Christian, James Manus. Got ourselves a ball game. Scaraffa rolling to the left, finds James Manus in the end zone. Manus' 2nd touchdown reception of the day, and a 23-15 ball game.
Keith Burnett, the initial target, number 84, was covered. So James Manus works his way into the open area, and the ball is thrown perfectly by Scaraffa for the touchdown.
Extra point from Ken Ozzie is good. And it's now 23-16. James Manus having an incredible day for Texas Christian University. There he
Anthony
is.
Scaraffa, who I think is quite an athlete. He has a good passing arm, good timing on the option play, a resourceful runner. He's holding his right hand, however, and I'm wondering if maybe he was hit, or is it the left?
He's
like, maybe we can see on the replay what exactly happened to quarterback Anthony Scaraffa. He does a good job here. He's moving to his left. Now he senses pressure. Now he looks for Manus, and he has to throw back across the grain. I think he was hit after he threw the ball by Stephen Braggs, number 6.
He was in a terrible position to throw that ball, too, off the wrong foot. Didn't get much behind it, as you saw, but he saw how wide open Manus was and knew all he had to do was somehow get that football, those 15 yards to the end zone, and he made it.
Dead run left, throwing back to your right. Not easy.
23-16 ball game. 8-yard line. This is Nelson for Texas. He brings it out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. 2:48 to go, third quarter. Got ourselves a ball game at Amon Carter Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. Fighting for the inside track to the Cotton Bowl, something TCU has not accomplished in a quarter of a century. Dodge, that quarterback for the University of Texas. He's enjoyed quite a day. Scaraffa, as you may not know if you joined us late, did not start this ball game. Anthony Gully did. Scaraffa came on, and what a day he's enjoyed. Dodge will throw on first down. He's putting it up long, intended for Bilboy. Bryant grabs the football. 36-yard line of TCU, and Dodge comes right back.
So Todd Dodge, who we've been talking about from the very top of the show, once again shows the poise that has made him such an outstanding performer for the Horns. Bilboy Bryant working on Garland Littles and Brian Linwood, number 35. Gets into the open area of the zone coverage. It's that deep outside seam in the zone coverage. He ran the corner pattern perfectly. The ball was thrown with touch and timing. So reception number 3 for Bilboy Bryant.
And keep in mind, Todd Dodge last week was 2 of 16 against Houston and was intercepted 5 times. Look out, Terry Orr breaks through. Close to a first down. Dodge on the day, 5 of 9, 173 yards in the air. And he is not very far away from the all-time career yardage record, I should say season record. Fred Akers, Danny Akers, his son right next to him, number 12. Danny, a senior, only played 9 games his entire career. Orr once again, barreling through. Billy Jones makes the stop. First down, Texas.
A great surge on the right side of the Texas line that time. Let Orr just slide in behind his right guard for big yardage.
I believe that's Ronnie Robinson down on one knee. 6'2", 225-pound junior out of Dallas, Texas. Had toe surgery. Might be the problem here. Kind of hobble off. We got 1 minute and 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Had a turf toe prop early in the year. Had to have some surgery, and that might be what's happening here. A little re-injury of that prop.
So many problems with running backs for the Longhorns this year. Starting with their superstar Edwin Simmons, who only came back last week.
There he is, the story of Fort Worth. Jim Wacker. Everybody you talk to around here says this guy is the difference. Enthusiastic. He's invigorated the whole student body and this whole area. TCU is really playing some football. Right now they trail 23-16. Timeout call. With 1 minute and 17 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Don't forget this Monday night. Football on ABC. You got the Steelers and the Saints from the Superdome in New Orleans. Saints fighting for a chance to make the playoffs. Pittsburgh leading their division. The Steelers with a 6-5 record. 2 games ahead of the Bengals in that division. Remember, a few years ago in the AFC Central was the class division of the NFL. Steelers ahead. Only team over 500 in that division. You see the wave cheer. It's everywhere, including TCU. Theirs needs some work, though, I think, Lee.
Where does it end? We know how the wave started, but where does it end?
I'm not sure. I always wondered, how do they get it going? I mean, who is there one guy who stands up and yells, "Let's do the wave"? How does that work?
That's a good question. I haven't ever been part of a wave.
No, I haven't either, but it's...
Maybe we're missing something.
The best wave fans I think I've seen, Detroit Tigers. Tiger Stadium, they're great. 1st and 10, Dodge hands it off. Orr once again, and Terry Orr is running very, very hard. As we mentioned earlier, the team's #1 rusher and one of the great players, all-time high school players in the state of Texas, came out of Abilene. The whole state of Texas knows about Terry Orr.
Let's talk about this Texas game plan for a minute. Obviously, they can't afford to sit on a lead. They've got to keep on going because remember that TCU is a big play team and they've been particularly effective in the 4th quarter.
2nd and 4. 13-yard line. Orr again trying to pound across.
This battle in the trenches that we've been talking about between Chilton, number 74, and Trammell, number 91, I would say once again I'd have to give the nod to Chilton. He's got the size you like, 6'3", 295 pounds. He bench presses over 500 pounds, and he's only a junior. Next year, he's going to be one of the premier offensive linemen in all of college football.
3rd down and 2. Final seconds, 3rd quarter. Dodge the handoff to Orr. He's got the 1st down. Almost breaks away for the touchdown. The tackle from Gerald Taylor, and Terry Orr was about 6 inches away from breaking that tackle and scoring another Texas touchdown.
This is vintage Texas football right now. This is what they have done effectively all year. They go to what they call their MASH, or power running formation. They did this earlier in the year against Penn State, where they were particularly effective on the ground, and they're pounding it out again.
23-16 to score. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. CFA College Football will return after this commercial message and a word from our local stations.
This is today's Chevrolet, and this is today's Chevrolet. This Chevrolet is specially modified for the International Race of Champions. This is a new Camaro IROC Z28 built for you. Chevrolet encourages the use of selected parts and components by race teams, and that helped us build this Chevrolet. World champions drive this Camaro, but the Camaro IROC Z28 makes you feel like a champion.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy. Chevy.
Oh, what Sylvania light bulbs go through before they come to you. As many as 38 tests in all. So that when you do this, your Sylvania light bulb will do this for an average of 1,000 hours. And isn't that the best test of all?
Hundreds of Americans exposed to radiation, often without their knowledge. Monday on World News Tonight.
Reverend Dr. Mann, you seek that putt, and I'll join your church.
At River Bend, we'll take them any way we can get them.
If you grew up in Austin around Callahan's feed and seed store, you can likely tell the difference between the smell of sorghum and the smell of oats. InterFirst Bank Austin has loaned billions of dollars to businesses just like Callahan's. And while not all of them know the difference between the smell of oats and the smell of sorghum, they all know one smell very well, the sweet smell of success. InterFirst Bank, we believe in Austin.
This is 24 KVUE TV Austin.
A quick injury report. James Benson, the massive offensive lineman for TCU, probably will not return. A sprained knee. Ronnie Robinson, we thought it might be a turf toe problem. It is. He may return right now, though. First and goal, 3-yard line. They give the Terry Orr touchdown, Texas. Terry Orr has scored the winning touchdown in the 1982 Cotton Bowl win over Alabama. Has scored here. He's been the main man on the ground.
They stay with their power running formation. They call it the mash formation. They give the ball to Terry Orr, the fullback, goes off the right side. And once again, you see the dominance in the trenches, Texas, with that big offensive line.
Jeff Ward to attempt the extra point. Missed one earlier, the only miss of his entire college football career. This time it is true, and it gives Texas a 30-16 lead with 14 minutes and 58 seconds to go. A lot of football left.
No other heat gun removes paint faster than the Wagner Power Stripper. The Power Stripper is faster on latex, faster on oil. The Power Stripper gives you 2 temperature settings and a range of tips to give you versatility few heat guns can match. The new Wagner Power Stripper. It's the perfect tool for taking paint off from the people who know so much about putting it on. Wagner, the right tool for painting.
A man on the move. Driver for the Coors Light Silver Bullet Racing Team. Al Unser Jr. When you're running with the big boys, you gotta run fast. Move ahead of the pack with Coors Light. The Silver Bullet.
Head coach for Texas Christian University, Jim Wacker. He's been called funny, inspiring, tough, a wild man. He's got quite an approach. His philosophy on coaching, we asked him about
it. Wacker's a parody his whole life. You know, you don't want to take yourself too serious, real frankly. The main thing in coaching is to be a little bit crazy and have a couple screws loose, and boy, do I fit it to a T, baby.
Don't you love that?
Well, we talk about standing room only. They're watching from the gym.
They're watching. That's a good, 150 yards away from the playing field. They're lined up there. They couldn't get in. As we mentioned earlier, their all-time record for a TCU home crowd, 47-2+. Frog fever is here. In fact, talking to some of the people, some of the officials at Texas Christian University, we understand the applications coming in have just been phenomenal. They've never had quite the rush they've seen the past few months after Texas Christian University's football program came on the rise. Out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. TCU knows they've got a tough row to hoe here. 30-16, less than 15 minutes to go.
A blue mood on the purple side.
No doubt about it. That scoring play for Texas. Classic drive, 7 plays, 74 yards. Soaks up nearly 3 minutes of the clock. And Orr, the main man in that drive, caps it off with a 3-yard touchdown run. Texas has built themselves a 14-point lead.
Orr has really upped his stats now. He has 54 yards on the day in 9 carries and 1 touchdown.
5-yard penalty assessed. We'll try it again. "14-yard line. That is Ankrum. Brings it back up the middle. Nice move, but can't quite. Cut it up for a big gain. 25-yard line. That's where TCU will take over on offense.
Ankrum is a third-string quarterback, but he's really like an extra running back. He's a burner with 4.4 speed. Good athlete. Also plays free safety.
They call him the A-bomb. He's ripped off some real good runs. In fact, responsible for a 99-yard touchdown throw earlier in the year. Scarafa fires it over the middle. This time, James Maness cannot hang on. Incomplete pass. 2nd and 10.
Maness, number 88, running a deep slant in pattern. Gets in behind number 11 in the zone coverage. the ball was catchable. So for the third time today, James Manus dropped passes that he normally would catch. He's made some of the tough catches, dropped some of the easier ones. That's a breakdown in concentration usually.
25-yard line, 2nd and 10. Scaraffa on the run. He is going to be hit and hit hard way back at the 16-yard line. DeGrate and Allard combine on the stop. If they give the sack to DeGrate, that would be number 10 on the year for him.
Manus gets blanket coverage here by Tony Griffin, number 16. That's step-for-step coverage by Griffin. Can't beat that. Texas, one of the few teams in college football that plays 4-3 with predominantly man coverage.
3rd and long. 18 yards to go for the first. Ball to 17-yard line. Scaraffa throwing. It is incomplete. Flag. TCU fans want a flag on Jerry Gray. They believe he tripped up James Manus. It looked close from here. See if we can tell.
Let's see if we can catch some contact right here between Gray and Manus. It looks like Jerry Gray touches Manus with his hand. Looks like he's reaching out and touches his leg with his hand there.
James Manus, the slow walk to the sideline. TCU's offense unable to get anything going that time. 4th and 18. Gargis in the ball game. Texas will take over with good field position. What a boomer. Wow. Rob Morsham, 30-yard line. Tries to turn it up. Tripped up. Good special teams effort from Scott Ankrum. He works it both ways. Texas on offense. 13:54 to go from Fort Worth, Texas.
Got my first job, my first apartment, and my first Zenith. Pretty smart, huh? Especially because my Zenith came with a factory rebate. Not bad, eh?
Right now, Zenith's offering a $50 rebate on 25-inch System 3 consoles, $75 and $100 rebates on Advanced System 3, the smart sets.
I'm getting $100 back.
Get your factory rebate now, direct from Zenith.
Now I think I'll buy a chair.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing works like a Chevy truck. So bring out the sun, bring on the fun. You got the goods, get out and run.
Hey, get your kicks in America's favorite sport utility vehicle, S10 Blazer, with standard features like a new fuel-injected Tech 4 engine, gas shocks, and instant track on 4x4 Blazers.
Nothing works like a Chevy truck.
Big 8 excitement on CMA college football. If 6th ranked Oklahoma beats Nebraska today, they'll face number 4 Oklahoma State for a coveted Orange Bowl berth. Next Saturday live at 3:30 Eastern.
Jim Lampley in New York. You're about to see a play which could figure in the national championship picture for this year. 4th quarter, 5 minutes to go. Oklahoma protecting a 10-7 lead. 4th down, Jeff Smith. Dumped by senior cornerback Brian Hall at the 1-yard line. Oklahoma held on to the 10-7 lead. Now they have the ball at midfield with 2.5 minutes to go. Back to Corey McFerrin.
Talk about your big play. Wow. Right here. Amon Carter Stadium, 30-16. Texas leads a clip on that run back a moment ago. So Texas has the football way back on their own 16-yard line. For Texas, their 8th penalty on the day. They've racked up 80 yards in penalties. 13:54 left. Dive, handoff, Ford. Slips through one tackle. Barrels up for 3 or 4 yards.
Gary Spann, the linebacker in isolation for the Frogs right here, has been a key man today. This time, he appears to overrun the play, which means that Orr can cut back. And Terry Orr, number 37, has emerged as one of the heroes of the second half for the Longhorns.
2nd and 7. Dodge. Left side. Gonna run and gonna be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Darren Turner comes on. Smell that one out. Set up a 3rd and 11. Navy upsets South Carolina today. BYU leading Utah, 10-point bowls. That's a final now. Oklahoma State defeating Iowa State, 26-10. UCLA, whoa! Look at this, Lee, on USC. And LSU has lost to Mississippi State. Arkansas beats Texas A&M. 3rd and 11. Or, another loss of the yardage. Darren Turner in on that tackle. David Spradlin is there to hit Orr hard.
Mississippi State is hard to beat at Starkville. Covered that game 2 years ago. There was an upset then.
That's a real home field advantage down there. 4th and 11, 15-yard line. Now he's got the shoe off again. It's not raining now, so I guess he figures to go back to the barefoot approach. Telchik belts it. Fair catch called for a Texas bounce. 45 of TCU. Finally going to come to rest at about the 43-yard line. That's about a 14-yard bounce in Texas's favor. 30-16, less than 12 minutes to go after the 47-yard punt.
You may get copies made outside your office because you think you can't afford a copier. Well, the truth is you can't afford not to own one. Because now there's the surprisingly inexpensive Sharp Z60 mini copier. It's simple to maintain, a cinch to operate, and delivers plain paper copies in a variety of colors. So get the inexpensive Sharp Z60. You don't know what you've been missing. The Sharp Z60, from sharp minds come sharp products.
Danger lurks everywhere, but I am always ready for the unexpected.
Owens Corning knows a lot of accidents occur in wet, slippery tubs. So we make tubs and showers with safer, textured, slip-resistant surfaces, so wet feet can stay more sure-footed.
In my business, you must always watch your step.
Owens Corning. Our building products put your house in the bank.
Skating greats Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner, JoJo Starbuck and Ken Shelley, plus the amazing Robin Cousins at the International Professional Figure Skating Championship, when ABC's Wide World of Sports returns December 8th.
Anthony Scaraffa, 1st and 10, 36-yard line. Got to get some offense rolling. The last offensive possession for TCU, they could do absolutely nothing. 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go. The handoff. This is Davis. Davis moving tentatively, trying to find some room.
You just made a good point. This is the time when you really are in kind of a catch-up posture, and the game plan changes a little bit. You can't fool around as much as you did establishing the running game and trying to get this established and that established. You have to go for big plays more often with a higher frequency.
2nd and 6. Scaraffa, the keeper. I believe he's got the first down on the far side. Sneaks out of bounds at about the 47. Jerry Gray is over there to push him out. Stops the clock, 11:13 to go. Scaraffa hops back after punching across that bench back there. Big Ten action, Wisconsin over Michigan State. Purdue defeats Indiana today, the old Open Bucket game. Kansas over Mizzou. Kansas State pounds Colorado. Maryland a winner. First down, TCU on the run. It is caught by Maiden. And he's out of bounds at about the 46-yard line of Texas. Good for 15 yards. 11 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the ball game. And right now, you got to start looking at the clock a little bit. Texas ahead by 14 points. As we mentioned, anybody who saw that TCU-Arkansas game will never count TCU out. Scaraffa, the keeper, first down, TCU, up to the 36-yard line. I like the way Scaraffa drives this football team.
The quarterback in the split-back veer option offense has to be an exceptional athlete, because not only does he have to be a good runner and a good passer, but he has to have that exceptional timing, the good footwork, the good handwork in running the option play. Scaraffa showed that he had all of those that time.
That's a wild score there. Notre Dame, no problems with Penn State today. First down, Scarapa firing, incomplete. Tell you what, man, he's got to be shaking his head. That's at least the 4th time today.
Exactly. Exactly, and he knows it. You can see the frustration on James Mana's face there. This is the most consistent receiver that they have had. He's regarded as a future #1 draft choice. Look at that. You see, it's the lack of concentration, and one of the things they always teach the receiver, look the ball into your hands. Don't look upfield.
2nd and 10, Scarapa inside the 30.
The reason that's so frustrating to a quarterback is because those are drive killers. And to a coach like Jim Wacker, who is a true fundamentalist.
Hey, talking about Wacker, one thing we didn't point out today, and we should have, is the fact that not only is he a graduate of Valparaiso University, got his master's degree from Wayne State University, and his doctorate from Nebraska. Davis, wide open, first down, 20, 15-yard line. Scarapa, we thought, had the football. He given it off to Davis. First down, TCU. The drive is alive.
This is why Kenny Davis is so highly regarded. You see that, how he cut that ball back to the outside? He made an excellent plant with his left foot. He saw the pressure there, cut back to the outside. Number 2, Jerry Gray, the All-American safety man.
23 yards. Scarapa, nowhere this time. Got to eat the football.
And with that last carry, Davis goes over the 100-yard mark for the 6th time. He now has 13 carries for 106 yards. So he has already become the most prolific rushing back in TCU history, surpassing the legendary Jim Swink. He did that last week, and he's adding to the total.
What's wild about that is 106 on the day is still 46 yards short of his per-game average. 2nd and 10, Scarapa, the pitch back to Davis. Tries to get loose. Stephen Bragg was back there. And Davis could not escape.
Well, you know that 1985 will be a bumper crop for running backs in the country. Byers, Pinkett, Jackson, Davis, to name a few. The pro scouts are drooling over the running backs that will be available following the 1985 football season.
Quite a crop. 8 minutes and 50 seconds exactly remaining here in this football game. Texas a 14-point lead. Very big play. 3rd and 11. Ball on the 14-yard line. Scarapa throwing. It is incomplete. Defending James Lott. That ball intended for Keith Burnett. So on 4th and 11, Lee Gross got 8:36 to go. What do you do?
Keith Burnett working on the corner. James Lott, number 99. Scarapa threw this ball a little short and back to the inside. It was not a well-thrown pass. Good coverage, though, by Lott, number 9.
And it could have been intercepted by Lott. Lott's the guy who's the high jumper. He was the most valuable performer of the Drake relay, 7 feet, 5.5 inches. On 4th and 11, Lee, they are going for it. 4th and 11, 14-yard line. Scarapa rolling, throwing, short for Davis, and that's it. Ball goes over to Texas with 8:32 to go. TCU unable to come through with the big 4th down play.
Scarapa's mad at himself because he underthrew the ball. Also, he might have waited a little bit longer, and his deep receiver could have broken open. Kenneth Davis, number 36, is the intended target. Sliding out of the backfield, you see the ball is thrown short. The deep man was number 88, James Banis, who was breaking clear.
I'm not sure even if Davis had made the catch, if he would have been in the position to make the 1st down.
Looks like you're into winning.
You bet.
Then today Chevrolet has a car for you. Cavalier.
Come on in, and you'll know. Turn it on, let it go. It's at your command.
2 liters of electronically fuel-injected power, front drive agility, and optional sports suspension. Cavalier. Grab one.
If this is today's Chevrolet, it's a winner.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy.
The human hand. It's not flat, it's curved. And And now, finally, there's a glove built around it. Finally, from Wells Lamont, Grips. The only all-purpose leather glove with a patented pre-curved design for a comfortable grip that just won't give. Grips from Wells Lamont. Look for Wells Lamont gloves at the sign of the mule.
On Monday Night Football, hunting for another championship season, the division-leading Pittsburgh Steelers collide with a hungry Saints squad. Live at 9 Eastern on ABC.
Enthusiasm, commitment, dedication, team-mindedness, character are some of the adjectives used to describe that man, Jim Wacker, who has really turned things around here at TCU. A story within a story. Cinderella coach of college football in 1984.
Dodge the handoff. Kevin Nelson. Nelson straight forward for 3. The thing about Wacker, he said early in the week, hey, no matter what happens this Saturday in the game with the University of Texas, they can't take anything away from us. It's been a remarkable season.
Gary Spann not having one of his better days today. He had personal problems earlier in the week, which caused him to miss practice, and it doesn't seem like he's playing with his usual intensity.
We've got 8 minutes to go in the football game. 2nd and 6 for the Horns. This is Orr. Pounds over one man. Look out. He may go. A man chasing him. Orr is going to score. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Wow. Terry Orr. Kevin Dean trying to grab from behind, but he couldn't do so. Orr, 82 yards for the score, and that pretty much seals it away. Watch it.
Gary Spann, the weak side linebacker, gets beaten again right here. He overruns the play. Orr cuts back to the inside, pulls over a tackle there. Another look. You see how number 57, Spann, overruns the play. He's taken down, breaks the tackle there. Now watch the foot race with Kevin Dean, number 97. What a day has Terry Orr had here in the second half. 82 yards on that touchdown.
And that is the longest run from scrimmage on the year by a Texas Longhorn. Jeff Ward's extra point is good. 82 yards. Terry Orr, the senior from Abilene. Some well-deserved congratulatory messages on his sideline. What a game for Terry Orr. Texas now in front, 37-16, 7:45 remaining.
Sat down with Mom, talked to Dad. Can't get it together, makes you feel sad. You know you can do it, you wonder where. You want it soon because you really care. The services can help you so you not only get better, you really grow. Talking Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. They'll take you, train you, show you the way. You'll work hard and get decent pay in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Prove you can make it. Prove it to all. Serving your country and walking tall in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You've got it together. They'll see in a glance. Thanks to the services, you got the chance in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
This is Mr. Goodwrench. Did you know the spark plugs in your GM car or truck make 8,000 explosions a minute? And each explosion depends on an exact amount of gasoline and air to make your car or truck perform right. So to make sure all those explosions happen precisely, get a professional tune-up by Mr. Goodwrench. We have quality GM parts, equipment, and training available.
It's another of Mr. Goodwrench's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Coach Fred Akers calls Terry Orr his most experienced football player on the day, 139 yards. That's the high on the year for a Texas back. In fact, eclipses his own mark of 108 yards set against Penn State earlier in the year.
This is an outstanding running play by Texas. Orr takes the ball, starts off tackle, cuts back over center. Good blocking along the line, particularly by Blackman, number 69. Here's the aforementioned foot race with Kevin Dean, number 97, and you see that Orr just breaks one last tackle and carries it on to the end zone to complete an 82-yard touchdown. He now has 139 yards on the day in 12 carries. What can you say? He's been the hero of this second half.
I'll tell you one guy who will not forget Terry Orr, and that is Garland Littles, number 20 in that sequence, who was bowled over. He's probably hurting on the sidelines. Here's the kickoff. Ankrum inside the 10. across the 20, 25-yard line, 27-yard line. TCU has a long way to go with 7 minutes and 39 seconds remaining. And some of the crowd here at Amon Carter Stadium beginning to head for home.
And very definitely at this point, they're in the posture of playing catch-up football. They can't think about running any more option plays. Even though option plays make up 80% of their offense, they have to get upstairs all the time.
Scaraffa will do exactly that right now. And doesn't do it very well. That ball intended for number 36, Kenneth Davis. Incomplete, thrown behind the receiver. Talk about your upsets. We've seen him, and here's a biggie. Number 6, Oklahoma. It's a final now. 17-7 over number 1 ranked Nebraska. Barry Switzer and his Sooner team felt confident, though, going into that one. They felt they've improved in a lot of areas. That sets it up for next week. Big shootout. It's a big game. Wow, number 6, Oklahoma against Oklahoma State. 2nd and 10 for the Frogs. 7:30 to go. Scaraffa flips it out. Incomplete. Ball pops up. Keith Burnett intended. And the word we get from our studios in New York is that the winner of that Oklahoma State game next Saturday on ABC is en route to the Orange Bowl.
Deservingly.
I believe so. 3rd down and 10 for the Frogs. They are in trouble.
Scaraffa has missed his last 6 passes.
But as we know, not all of them have been his fault. We've seen a couple balls that should have been caught. Scaraffa this time. The trick play. Davis gets it on the flip up to the 45-yard line. It works to perfection. 1st down TCU. The clock stops. 7:20 to go. Scaraffa hits sharp. He tosses it to Davis coming around. It works perfectly.
That's the old hook and lateral play. It's one of several gadget plays that they have, and it nets 32 yards.
I think we've all seen that play, and I've seen it even on the grammar school fields time and again. Yeah, it works. This time, Scaraffa going right, sets up, lets it rip, going for Burnett. Has he got it? Yes! Makes the catch out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Keith Burnett, sophomore out of Houston. He's a burner as well. Ran a leg in the 83 NCAA champion relay.
Keith Burnett working on James Lott. Gets a step with a good fake. Goes to the corner. Jerry Gray gets in on the coverage.
Oh.
Ball is tipped.
Wow.
And Burnett hangs on. Excellent concentration by Keith Burnett.
Isn't it wild? We've seen some fabulous catches and several balls that should have been caught. Davis hit hard as he barrels across the 5-yard line. There's a flag down on the field. Clock ticking, 7:05 to go. It's against the Frogs. Watch this one again.
Watch this closely, and you'll see the ball is tipped by number 9, James Lott. Watch his left hand, and you see the ball there tipped right into the hands of number 84, Keith Burnett. Burnett, who is then taken down by Jerry Gray.
It's a little cool here at Amon Carter Stadium. Even the dogs trying to stay warm somehow.
The dogs and the frogs.
Exactly. 1st and goal, 12-yard line. Jeffrey inside the 5-yard line. Gray and Braggs combine on the stop.
Tony Jeffrey, a talented freshman who has had his problems today, fumbling 3 times, held onto the ball. He covered the ball with both hands that time on the dive play and showed some of the talent that he has had.
In fact, he's got the all-time freshman record for yardage. 7:19 coming into today. Scaraffa, they give to Davis. Trying to sneak across. He is stopped short at about the 1-yard line, it appears. The clock ticking, 6:09, 6:08 to go. Frog fever continues, but it'll take a miracle today to pull this one out. 37-16. You see the score.
That's what it will take. But Jim Wacker believes in miracles. Positive thinker.
Many would say this season has been a miracle.
Already. That's right.
Third and goal. Scarapa. Jeffrey. Touchdown. Texas Christian. Tony Jeffrey trying to make amends. Very costly fumbles throughout the day.
From this angle, you see the battle of the trenches, and you see how TCU's left side of the offensive line blows Texas out of there. It enables Jeffrey to dive in for the touchdown. So some fans who are leaving are wondering if they should have stayed.
Exactly. Extra point is good. A 37, 23-yard ball game for Jeffrey. His 8th touchdown on the year. And TCU once again back within 14 points. They will need to get the ball back in a hurry.
Well, Texas scored twice in 3 minutes. So possibly TCU could score twice in 5 minutes.
It can happen. Texas Christian University averaging 35 points a game, the 3rd highest average in college football.
Well, they're a big play team, and they're a 4th quarter team.
37-23, 5:43 to go in the ball game. Perhaps an onside kick would be in order here. A check of the scoring back in the first quarter. Bill Boyd Bryant, touchdown reception, and the field goal by Ozzie, a 7-3 score after 1. Second quarter, Ward the field goal makes it 10-3. Manus the reception, 10-9 ball game. Third quarter, Texas scoring quickly. They take a 23-16 lead after Manus scores. In the fourth quarter, it's Texas scoring on the Orr touchdown run. Orr again from 82 yards. And then moments ago, Jeffrey with the touchdown gives us a 37-23 game, as is the onside kick. Not going to work. Texas with a football on the 46-yard line as Russell Hayes comes up with a football. Is that a local version of the horn fraud? I'm not sure.
That didn't look as mean as the horn
frog.
Not like the one Lynn Swan showed us in the first quarter.
The one had way too big of a smile.
Yeah, that's supposed to be one of the meanest critters around, if you believe what Jim Wecker tells you.
Well, they have been mean all year long. Haven't been to a bowl game since 1965. If they don't make it to the Cotton this year, they are certain to go somewhere. A lot of folks think they may be headed for the Blue Bonnet Bowl. This is Terry Orr, and what a second half he's had. Pounding yardage each time he gets the football. He's inside the 40-yard line. Texas will undoubtedly keep the ball on the ground, try to use up the clock.
So Orr keeps upping those statistics. He's now up to 151 yards in 13 carries. And, of course, he had that sensational 82-yard touchdown run.
151 isn't bad when you consider he had 358 on the year coming in. That's in 8 games. Clock is moving. 5:10 to go. Orr again. Boy, he's running hard.
Well, he really has the size you like. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, has good speed, good leg strength, good second and third effort. He's the kind of pounding, consistent runner that you like to have in there. What's interesting about him is that basically he's a nuts and bolts runner. You figure on him tackle to tackle, but he can also double as a big play man. At times effective as a receiver.
2nd and 8. Orr again. Puts the head down. And crunches. Up to about the 33 of Texas Christian. 4:12 to go, 4:11. Big smile on the Texas cheerleader's face, and she has reason to smile. Longhorns would go 7-1-1 overall, 5-1 in the conference. As we mentioned earlier, we've got 2 conference games remaining. 3rd and 4. Dodge handoff. Orr. He's got it, and he's going to score again. 10-yard line, 5-yard line, touchdown. Terry Orr. Wow. Touchdown number 3 on the day for Terry Orr. Running like a man possessed.
Texas going to their famous mash formation, which is a variation of the power I, featuring the running of Terry Orr, who with this run has now gone to 191 yards on the day. 2 touchdowns.
Terry Orr. Extra point attempt is good. And Texas racked up 44 points with 3:45 to go. 44-23. And this is the kind of day offensively Texas hasn't had all year long. They talked about playing well at certain times. They hadn't put it all together. But today, I am sure Fred Akers will be very, very happy with his offensive production. 44 points. It's a lot of production.
It shows a lot of character on the part of Fred Akers' team also to come back from that disaster of last week where the team as a whole had 9 turnovers, 5 interceptions by Todd Dodge, who has made a great comeback here today.
Southwest Conference standings, this of course is based on a Texas win today. They would go to 5-1. TCU would drop to 5-2. You get Arkansas and SMU, both winners today. Houston is idle today. Now all 5 of these clubs still have a good shot at the crown. Texas and TCU, there you see the remaining games. TCU a game with A&M next week, that's away. Texas games with Baylor remaining. And one of the games that with Texas A&M, and the ball is lost on the goal line. A little bit of extracurricular activity there. And that was very close to bringing it out in the 1-yard line. Tell you what, here's the story of the game. Number 37 for the University of Texas.
He really has been the hero of this second half. How about that? That is really an illustrating graphic right there. Orr has outgained the entire TCU team by about 40 yards.
He's having the best day of a Texas back since Darryl Clack at 201 yards against Baylor back in 1982. If you're thinking about the all-time Texas record, looked it up, 342 yards. Remember Roosevelt Leaks?
I covered that game. That was against SMU in 1973.
He was an hombre. Or a hoss, as some people like to call these.
Well, here in the Southwest Conference, you know, a horse becomes a hoss. That's right. And sometimes you make them bigger than life, and they call him a hoss and a half.
Anthony Gully, the man who started this ball game at quarterback, replaced by Anthony Scaraffa, is back in the football game. Here, hands it off to Tony Jeffrey, the freshman.
Yeah, that game where Roosevelt Leaks went for 342 yards in 1973 against SMU, there was a center named Bill Wyman, and he got all of his yards basically on the same play, was simply running behind his center.
Less than 3 minutes remaining. The celebration begins on the Texas bench. Having a good time. Gully on 2nd and 5 wants to throw over the middle. It is incomplete. That ball intended for Burnett. Another case of a ball hitting a TCU receiver's hand. Lynn Swan's on the sideline. Check in with him now. Lynn?
Well, Corey, Fred Akers once said, tough times never last, but tough people do. When you look at the trials of Edwin Simmons, when you look at what happened to Todd Dodge last week, the team losing to Houston, you'd have to say those were their tough times. But today against TCU, they found their offense. Todd Dodge found his confidence, and they've shown that they have tough people on this Texas football team.
Very well said. Gully. Opposite direction. Dan Sharp, as we've mentioned, the most sure-handed receiver perhaps in the conference. Not sure-handed there. At this point, I guess the frustration, the realization that the opportunity to win this ball game has escaped them perhaps is setting in.
Good point. Lynn Swan just made a good point, too. Fred Akers has been influenced by some outstanding coaches. He told me probably the 3 coaches who most shaped his philosophy were Frank Broyles, Darrell Royal, and the late Bear Bryant. He played for Frank Broyles, our colleague at the University of Arkansas.
Jeffrey up the middle. In fact, Akers ranks 10th among active coaches in career winning percentage. Spent a couple years at Wyoming. He's been at the University of Texas for 7 years, and of course before he took off for Wyoming and the job up there with the Cowboys, spent 9 years as an assistant right here at the University of Texas. 2 minutes, 29 seconds to go. Hook 'em horns. They got this one in the bag, 44-23. Measuring for the first down, TCU on the 43-yard line. Got themselves the first down, their own 43-yard line. Frog fever still here, but it's not quite what it was about 3 hours ago.
Fever has returned to normal.
Gully in trouble, taken down behind the line of scrimmage. The 2nd and 10 play. Executive producer of ABC Sports is Roone Arledge. Coverage of the Texas TCU game produced by Kurt Gowdy Jr. Directed by Larry Cam. Technical director Chet Masaryk. Associate director Ben Harvey. Technical manager Tony Versley. Our unit manager Bob Braunlick. And assistant to the producer Raymond B. Schmaltz III. Fred Akers gives everybody a sign that this game is taken care of as he takes the headset off. Anthony Gully caught again behind the line of scrimmage. Kip Cooper, number 90, takes him down. Horn Frog says, I don't believe it. Got the hands over the eyes. But hey, what a year it's been for the Frogs.
You want to kiss that frog?
I don't have no desire to kiss that frog. Look at Orstats, Lee.
Well, we talked about how he's been the hero of the second half, and you see how he has really dominated the football game.
4 touchdowns overall. Kenneth Davis going nowhere. Under a minute to go in the ball game.
Terry Orr normally lines up at the fullback position, but today they've used him both at fullback and at tailback, particularly running at tailback in that mash or power I formation. Texas really has reverted back to fundamentals, back to power running football.
Want to stress, too, that even if TCU, they're going to lose today, they still are not necessarily knocked out of the Cotton Bowl race. You saw an upset there, UCLA over USC. That's a real surprise. Here is Gully, right side, puts it up. He hits his man. To James Manus. Not going to matter much. TCU trying to get another play off. We got 18 seconds to go. They stop the clock while the chains move up. Jim Wacker, you got to believe when he talks to his players today in the dressing room, he's not going to criticize. He's not going to yell. He's not going to be upset. This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see today's Chevy. Drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy. By Sharp Electronic Corporation, from Sharp Minds comes Sharp Products. And by U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And brought to you by Firestone, with over 4,000 retailers from coast to coast. Fine quality tires, master care service, and a complete line of batteries. Come on, America's driving to Firestone. And the kicker cup is that Orr was listed as questionable as late as Thursday of this past week. He banged up a right knee in that Houston game. They weren't even sure he was going to be able to play at all.
Well, that question mark has turned into an exclamation point now.
14 seconds remaining at Amon Carter Stadium, Fort Worth, Texas. Gully, all the time in the world, lets it rip. Complete pass to Keith Burnett. 6 seconds to go, a timeout. I believe, has been called as Texas Christian would like to push it across again. Texas came in today ranked number 10 in the country. TCU ranked number 12. Here we go once again. Southwest Conference standings. Texas in great shape. They do have 2 games remaining, of course. TCU at 5-2. They're not out of it today with a loss by any means. Arkansas, SMU, and Houston all with a shot as well. And of course, those standings reflect the win today by Texas, by SMU, and by Arkansas as well. The Horned Frog. That thing is ugly, isn't it?
On the endangered species list.
I can see why. The actual horned frog really is.
I think that horned frog right there needs glasses.
Big glasses. Real big glasses. 6 seconds to go. Texas 44-23. Could be the final play of the game. Quarterback is Anthony Gully. Going to go to the end zone, trying for the touchdown. This is Burnett. He will not get in. Makes the catch at the 5-yard line. That's it. Time is out. Fred Akers coming across the field, wants to shake the hands of Jim Wacker, the man who has turned TCU football from the laughingstock of the Southwest Conference into a solid, respectable contender. Kenneth Davis talking to Akers there.
But Fred Akers, low-keyed, understated, consistent winner, knows how to win. This was just another week of practice for him. He disregarded the hype. They came to play.
Wacker and Akers at midfield. It's all over here. 44-23, Texas.
The last thing I heard was the siren. I wouldn't make it. I'd never see my wife, the baby on the way.